Boom. We are Squawking Dead. And I'm your host, David Cameo, and you're joined by Cosmomom09 Rachel Burt, and below me is Meg the Geek. How are you, folks? We're taking over for Talking Dead tonight, and we're covering, in my opinion, opinions may clash, a very interesting episode of Fear the Walking Dead. And I wanted to say something at the top, and that was, why haven't you entered our giveaway? You've got 6 weeks left until The Walking Dead Season Dead comes back. A number of you have done it. Many of you haven't. Our giveaway is we're giving out one shout out on Cameo.com from your favorite former or current cast member. Now, the catch is, if we reach 1,000 followers, likes, or subscribers on any of the social medias, we add another winner. So that's 2 winners. Then 3 winners, then 4 winners. And if we hit 2,000, we add another winner. There could be many winners. All of you could win.
Except for us.
Except for you guys. Yeah. You guys are out.
Rachel, we're going to do our own contest.
There is a downside to being a host on Squawking Dead, I suppose. Yeah.
Yep. We're the real losers here.
Like, sorry, not sorry. Wait, hold on. You're fired. You're not paying me anyway.
Quit, okay? Get it straight.
No, in fact, they're paying me for them to be hosts. How do you think the show gets to keep running? No, I'm kidding. That's a lie.
Strangers?
What's that?
Through the kindness of strangers?
Yes, the kindness of strangers. We'll come along the train with Hobo Dave.
Oh, God, what did I start?
Yeah, I know. Another voice, apparently.
It's our new host. I'm not the newbie anymore.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just manually started Facebook. So they missed all of that giveaway stuff.
Oh.
I thought
get on it.
Here's the thing. I thought when I started streaming, it would actually start streaming. So
silly you.
Silly Dave.
What are you thinking?
I think it's okay. Now it's live. Now we're live on Facebook. Now we're live. Why
Hello,
did I had to click a button twice where I thought I didn't have to click at all. So it goes to show you don't.
I just got the notification.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that.
Oh, I've
now we're on Facebook,
cool.
And now Tom is on Facebook too. I think he prefers it too, and I don't blame him too because the comments kind of show up in real time. So
I like that.
But here's how awesome Tom is. I saw him on the Instagram chat before, and so he switches to his normal one. And also, he asked about Carol, too. And I'm asking about her, too. Where are you, Carol?
Yeah, where's Carol?
Yeah.
Did you ever answer in our chat?
No. Carol lives a life of mystery and seduction. You know
Seduction?
what? The word was in my head, and it just came out. OG
I gotta slow down in the middle of that one.
Yeah, OG Squawking D is a secret agent woman. This is Agent Carol.
This is where thinking before you speak comes in handy.
Who needs that?
Where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
I have notes for that. I don't need to think. I also kind of wanted to bring up something at the top of the show, and I'll leave the floor open to you gals. Oh man, Tom just said something really mean, but I'm not going to repeat. But it's funny.
Oh no.
But
boy.
I wanted to say this first. I've been seeing a lot of TWD has been like really ramping up season 10 well in advance, and between the new key art that came out last week, which is really awesome. I love it how it's kind of almost in a way kind of understated. Like their key art is usually like more realistic. It's more situational, right? It's more like true to life. Whereas like this season, it's kind of like there's that like inverted Nippon background, like the Japanese flag kind of thing. Like the sunset, the whatever, the rising sun, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And then and it's very ethereal and it's very two-tone, etc. So, but it's really cool. But like the point I'm trying to make is like, who's on the key art, and it's like Michonne, Daryl, and Carol, and like it's cropped in such a way that it shows Daryl and Carol, and the carolers are going crazy. Okay. I mean, to the point where they're actually like yelling at people who say like Daryl and Carol are not like going to be a thing. And I'm like, hold your horses. It was one thing when you thought it was a fantasy, and I'm okay with your fantasies, but like, don't yell at people. Just don't like yell at people that are, first of all, saying something kind of reasonable. Like, people have said their relationship isn't like that. They have said that their relationship isn't like that. And that's okay. That should be fine. But man, it's getting violent out there.
See, my issue is like, you can't, like, it's impossible to please everyone. And yes, Carol and Daryl are soulmates, but not in that type of way.
Right.
So I feel like regardless of what they did with the key art, regardless if it was designed that way or any other way, people were going to be pissed and yell.
Yeah.
Because you have like the what's Carol and Donnie? Listen to me.
Donnie.
There
you go. Oh, you mean Connie
and
and
the carolers. So it's
Yeah.
like you it's impossible.
I guess all I'm saying is, because I know Rachel, you're a caroler, but I mean,
I am.
you're a nice
I
person.
mean, I agree with Meg though. They're soulmates, and whether or not they have that romantic relationship, I really don't like. I love the relationship how it is, and if
Right.
it does nothing more than that, I'm perfectly happy with that because nothing's going to come between that. Now, having said that, if they were to do this, oh my gosh,
I cannot wait for that to come
I
in that
would be-
episode.
over the moon.
I think my neighbors would knock on my door because I'd be screaming so loud.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Like,
Police would be
are you
called.
okay?
No Sanctuary said something really funny. He says, I'm okay with them getting together, but if I have to watch a sex scene between two 50-year-olds.
You gotta watch it with Rochelle, okay? So
Yeah, but they were in their
Oh my
40s.
gosh.
it doesn't matter. Love.
I'm in my 40s. What do you got a problem with that?
Oh my goodness. As long as it's tasteful.
Well, no,
That's
you don't
all.
have to watch
and
it.
it will be.
That was really funny.
Because we waited 10 years for this.
Right?
We waited so long to be validated after
Ever since he handed her the hammer
Oh man.
and she smashed Ed's head in.
Oh, that
right there.
It was like a pickaxe, man. That
Yeah. Is that what it was? A pickaxe? I thought it was a sledgehammer.
Oh, right in
yeah.
the face too, man.
Yeah. Yep. That was the moment right
That was when the romance would blossom.
there.
Anyway, no, but what do you think about all that? Because I don't know if have you guys been seeing what I've been seeing? Like I think it's because the
I haven't
tension,
seen the art yet.
It's the tension of the new season. That's
Oh.
what I'm talking about. Like, and then you see these people kind of like they're getting a little antsy and like really riled up about the two of them being so close together. And by the way, I've seen other versions of the key art where they're not close together too. So I'm like, okay, that kind of invalidates your theory there, but
Yeah.
But no, what do you guys think about that?
I'm fine with it, honestly. I mean, I haven't really been seeing the comments so much because I've been just running around crazy.
That's
but
true.
just based on going on what you're saying, okay, how can I say this politely? Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
I'm so sick of people bitching. Like,
Meg ain't pulling any punches here.
no, I am done being Miss Nice Girl. I almost said Miss Nice Guy, that kind of women. No, I'm just so sick of people bitching and moaning. You know what? Because it takes so much hard work to design, whether it's key art, videos, Photoshop, whatever. You do it then and show me what you got.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
By the way, poor Johnny Odell, because I think he's the one who's doing it.
oh, he gets so much hate.
I swear to God, every time they release any sort of art related to the series, he gets so much. Like, do you remember that last? And he got it
The
this time
video.
around too. Like where they
Remember
cropped
the
out
video he
Michonne.
released?
What's that?
Remember the video he released where it was 1 second from each episode?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I remember that.
It went crazy.
Oh my God, everybody had an opinion. Like, oh, Michonne was relevant to that episode. Why wasn't the 3 seconds her? I'm like, holy shit.
People were throwing race
Jeez.
out there with that too.
They did the same thing with the key art. Like they had versions of it where Michonne was cropped out, and like everybody started getting woke. Like, oh, you're excluding Michonne. I'm like, you cropped out Michonne on purpose. I'm like, no, that's just Spreadfast, the app that they use to actually like do outreach. Like I use Buffer, and it sometimes things get cropped out. But I mean, I put it in the right place. But still, that's not the point. And I think that's why they rearranged the way. I mean, not because of that, but like they came out with different versions, the square version, but they also rearranged where the characters were. But I will say this, no matter what version, Daryl was in the front. Because do you know why? Do you know why?
because he's the lead.
He's gonna be the leader.
No, you're both wrong. It's a man's world. It's a man's world, and you're just.
Oh, you did not just go there with two women on the show right now.
Well, technically, I didn't. I was just being facetious.
You're the only guy in the majority of these episodes. You
No, that's why I'm being facetious. But I just wanted to get a reaction. I'm a shit talker too.
Fighting words.
Well, on the heels of Meg telling everybody shut the fuck up.
Right?
I love you, but shut the fuck up.
That's the new catchphrase. So we should have a list of
I quit. Shut the fuck up.
Number 2, shut the fuck up. Awesome.
I'm just gonna make a list of what like if you're new to watching or listening to Squawking Dead, here are some key phrases to be on the lookout for.
You need to know.
Right, it's like the recap at the beginning of every episode. Meg said this and this on these episodes.
I kind of want to make it a drinking game.
Every time Meg quits, take a shot.
I'm crying here, actually. Oh, and Tom says he quits now because you said shut the fuck up. But which, by the way, he's rooting for what he refers to as Connell. Connie and Daryl.
Connell. Oh, okay. Okay.
That's different.
I don't know why Coral didn't catch on because I thought that was pretty cool.
Coral.
Yeah, Coral. Corryl.
Yeah. Too close to Carl.
Because then I got to yell it out a lot of people. Coral.
Coral. Yeah.
Who doesn't like yelling that? That's awesome. Anyway, let's see. Okay. Anybody else? I mean, I do want to bring up your charity, Rachel, which is still going on, and
yes,
there's an important announcement you have to make about that.
There is. It is official. Everyone should follow and tune in, especially to Thorgon9 on Instagram on September 7th. That is when we're going to officially shave my head.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm already getting nervous just saying it, but it is going to happen. So September 7th, I'll be down in Sonoy, Georgia, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, with a whole bunch
of people. Follow me, and follow him, and follow everybody. So
follow the world.
I'm going to be out of town that weekend, but I'm going to make sure you have to tell me when it's going to happen so I can make sure to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you should have 24 hours to rewatch it too after September 7th, whenever they.
Yeah, but I want to make comments.
Oh, I see. I definitely want to be available too. Yeah. And
charity's still open too, so don't forget to donate.
Yeah, I was going to actually say. So if you do want to donate, the link to her charity is in our YouTube and Facebook descriptions, and it's in her profile on her Instagram profile, CosmoMom09.
Check it out.
That's right. You better do it. And I will say this much. We were talking about this before the show. If you happen to be watching, I think it's a good idea. If you have not donated to her charity for St. Jude's cancer research,
yes,
just do it while you're watching the live. If you are entertained, are you not entertained?
Multitask.
Please,
what
please
must I do?
Yeah, please think about donating. Every little bit counts. Every little bit counts.
It does. Yeah.
And
this money goes to the children's treatments and lodging for their parents, so that the children are never alone.
Yeah. And hand holding, a lot of hand holding on all fronts. It's great.
Yes.
So anybody else have any announcements before we any house cleaning left to do? Meg, any cons?
I went to a convention, but it wasn't Walking Dead related.
Well, we did the Monster Mania one last week.
Yes, and this weekend was Keystone.
Tell us a little about that.
Any noteworthy? It was awesome. It was out in Philadelphia. Actually,
Keystone
Tom.
State.
What was that?
Isn't the Keystone State? Pennsylvania, Keystone.
I don't know.
No, whatever.
I'm in Jersey, so I don't know that shit. Anyway,
I don't know that shit.
Shut the fuck up when we talk.
But it's a man's.
I quit. Take a shot. But no, I finally got to meet. For anybody who's a Power Ranger fan, I finally got to meet Jason David Frank.
Yes, I saw that.
I had his photo op last year at Comic-Con, but I didn't get to interact with him. And he kind of knew where I was from, so I thought that was really cool because he asked me where I was from. And then I got to meet some video game guys who I love, Nolan North, who's Nathan Drake from Uncharted. Troy Baker, who's done just about everything.
Troy Baker.
The Last of Us. Yes,
Okay.
Uncharted, I'm pretty sure Borderlands too. I don't play Borderlands, so I don't know about that one. And then Scott Patterson from Gilmore Girls. Yeah, he was pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And there were some cool cosplays. There was somebody there from Walking Dead related, but I couldn't get a picture of them.
What are they cosplaying as?
Take a guess. You made fun of their name before.
The name of the character?
Yeah.
I just now?
Yes.
Coral.
Coral.
Is it Carl?
Carl.
I wanted to get a picture, but they were too far away. It was fun though.
Should have hollered, Carl!
I should have. Oh well. But now I am convention free for 5 weeks.
Oh, you're gonna have to get out of your system. Hey, at least you're not gonna get sick and get that con flu.
Oh, I avoided con crud. Now I'm gonna get sick because I said that.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the episode. I kind of want to. So I actually segmented this episode into 2 sections. There's the the Alicia, Strand, and Wes thing, and then there was the Althea and Morgan scenes, with a little tack on to Logan at the end. But where would you guys like to start? Let me put it to Rachel. Where would you like to start?
With the trees.
Yes, I was hoping you were gonna say that.
Barbara. That's a pretty tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say that as soon as I saw Wes's face in the back of the truck and he was talking to Alicia about the tree, like she had I feel she was looking at the map, right, with the X's, and he saw where they were marked out at, and he knew immediately that they were all
about that. But it's interesting that you thought that just based on the X's anyway.
Yeah, that's true. The tape. I forget he saw the tape because we saw the tape when he was watching it.
Yeah. And he made note of like everybody's name, which is also, I mean, it's going to go into some
Who's
of the
Mitch?
Right. Well, if you remember his coveralls, do you remember Strand's coveralls?
Oh,
right?
Okay. Yes. Now I remember.
I was going to go into that.
That doesn't sound anything like Victor.
Right. He didn't really announce his name, but like
you're right.
And do you remember where he got the coveralls?
CNL? Or no, Strand. Salazar.
Yeah, and
and
why? Because of the radiation and all that stuff. He had to change his clothes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it when the balloon fell, so him and Charlie were exposed?
And they were afraid that they would get contaminated. So they had these coveralls. Yeah, and one of them said Mitch. There you go. Not a lot of people picked up on that, by the way, when they were watching. Like,
I was just really, really happy to find out that the trees were not Madison.
You know, I it kind of, like Meg, I mean, it does kind of make sense that they wouldn't do that, though, right? I mean, let's admit it. I mean, even you actually, I'll be open and honest. Like, I am on Meg's side on this one. Like, I
thought it was gonna be.
I'm so glad this was recorded, so I have proof.
I definitely wanted it to be her, but like, I'm grounded enough and versed enough, like in terms of like just knowing that it can't be. Like they have to stick to their guns.
The reason I really thought it was going to be her, and not even so much the trees, because because the episode title, "You're Still Here."
Right.
If Madison was going to make an appearance, it would have been really cool because it like proves you're still here. You've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
I feel like the episode title not only did it have to do with the trees, or what I almost called him Colby.
It's hard not to be honest.
I know, right? Yeah. But what like Wes had painted on the trees, it kind of also has to do with Alicia this whole time, because I'm kind of deviating a little bit from the tree talk. But this episode, I feel like it was a very much a coming of age tale for Alicia in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact, the whole "you're still here" thing, it really helped her realize that, okay, Madison really is here with her the whole time.
Yeah, it was always inside her.
Just not physical.
I actually put it to somebody earlier, just earlier, like as I was watching the show, because I've watched the show already twice, once to enjoy, once to get notes, and in live just now with you guys. And I put it to them because they brought up the question like, if they would bring back Madison, it would be even better. And I was thinking to myself, but that's kind of like the same rationale of like, well, what if Shane was still around, that kind of thing. And I was thinking to myself, would the gang be on the same kind of like interesting, that kind of like help people ethos if Madison was still around? And I'm almost like tempted to say no. Like, because it's like the whole old dogs. Was it can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing? Like where Madison was kind of going through some sort of evolution, where we last left her finally. But I could still see her struggling to not manipulate people, to not kill, which the question was, that whole Logan and Morgan interaction, would Madison have been really cool and not killed Logan? And I'm tempted to say no. Like she would have been totally at his throat more than Morgan was.
But she wouldn't have killed him.
I think she would have absolutely killed him.
Or done something.
When there was a bunch of guns aimed at her head, I don't think so.
I don't think she would have thought about it. And that was my problem with Madison. A lot of the times she acted on instinct and emotion and didn't always think things through.
Yeah,
I think she would have killed him.
Right, we can't really say for sure what she would have done. And how that scenario would have even come about. Because who knows if Madison would have even let them risk their lives on this newfound journey. I don't even think that would have happened, by the way. This newfound journey, the kids wouldn't have been saved. The reactor would have blown. Wouldn't have grace. So there's... I definitely think they wouldn't have made the journey. Let's just say that much. Like they wouldn't have made the journey to save those kids. You know?
Well, Madison's death was kind of the catalyst for doing all of this. Had they not lost her, they would have been on a different type of mission.
Right. And would Alicia have grown that much? Right. As much as she has on her own.
Yeah. But Madison kind of didn't want her to. She didn't want Alicia to doing that kind of stuff, so she wouldn't have had an opportunity to grow.
I've been thinking a lot about this whole, obviously I'm Team Madison. I want Madison to be alive. We all know that. I am too. But in case you didn't, I'm not going to quit.
If you're new here.
I will not quit. I will not quit. Counts the beads.
For real. Obviously I'm Team Madison, but as much as I want her back, I'm not saying she's dead. I'm not sorry. I'm not admitting that. But if she doesn't come back, I'm actually okay with it because of seeing how much growth the show, Alicia's done, and also with the direction the show has gone. I'm curious if they did bring her back, what would they have done to the character? Like with these new showrunners, would they have ruined the character I grew to love in 4 seasons?
Ooh, that's an interesting point. I
mean, we're only in 8 episodes.
Yeah, we've kind of brought the point of like, what would she become? Well, what kind of Madison will we see? Would she be a bad guy, etc.? And
I know we talked about it, and the original showrunners talked about it, but I don't think we ever heard anything from the new showrunners. What would they have done if Madison was alive? So it's like a fear, the whole thing, like don't meet your idols because they may not be as nice as you think they are.
Yeah.
Well, with the new showrunners, what would they have done? They could have fucked up the character so badly that I'd be upset.
Well, it would have fucked it. I would love to see an evil Madison in a way.
Oh, I would love to. I was hoping to.
But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know about ruining a character, but I do. Go ahead.
I might like a bad Madison,
right? or like
a bad Madison,
or like a complicated Madison, right? Like because she hasn't gone through all this growth, she's been through an ordeal, assuming, right? But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, and it's also be careful what you wish for, because I do see a lot of people saying, "I wish she was back." The show would be, dude. There's a contingent. Yeah, we talked about this last week, but I mean, man, they're so vocal lately. They're like, "Oh, I don't like where the show's going. Oh, bring Madison back. Why'd you kill Nick?" And like Nick, but Frank Delane wanted to leave the show, so he didn't have a contract. So bye. Yeah. So
when they mentioned Nick today, I actually forgot that he was in the show. I was like, oh right, she had a brother.
It just goes to show, man.
I think it's funny that all these people on the internet think that it matters. Like, what do you really think one comment from one asshole is going to make a difference? Yep. Bring Madison back. Oh, you're right. Okay.
By the way, Rachel, that's what we were saying last week. This group, this I was like going back and forth with this one dude or girl. No, that was a girl and a guy. But like they were all about like, no, we're trying to organize a movement to change this. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. I think that's kind of presumptuous too. Like, you know better. Yeah. Like, I don't even care if you're a writer. Like, okay, you have the trust of the all those producers like Alpert, Kirkman, Nicotero, Hurd, Chambliss, Goldberg, you have their trust. I'm sure they have tons of faith in you and all your rabble. You have no writing experience. Get back in your hole and enjoy the show, or not enjoy the show. I hope you suffer.
What was it when Game of Thrones ended? That whole petition to get them to redo the whole season.
Yeah,
right up there with that.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, and you know, as much as like many people will complain about, like I didn't complain, but like I can see a world in which, and like I agree with their points, but like at the same time, it's like, dude, really, seriously, this is how they decided to do it. If you don't like it, I mean, I would even say if you don't like it, do your own. Nothing.
It is what it is.
Nothing is stopping you.
Yeah.
Do it, and you may actually get more cred. You know, you never know.
Yep. Yeah.
It
is what it is. Can't change it. Just accept it.
Yeah,
and for a reason. You may not agree with it, but deal with it.
Yeah.
And shut the fuck up.
That's right.
And for all its
this new phrase.
And by the way, for all its foibles, like for all the Game of Thrones foibles, like it was well done. It was still well done, in my opinion. Like, and it did have some good resolutions. It may not have been what everybody wanted. I don't think it's what the showrunners even wanted, but I think that's what we got. And I think that's what where it's meant to go. I think the main complaint, and the one I agree with, is that I think we all wish they had taken more time to get there, a little bit more time to get there, to kind of, because it felt sudden, you know?
I don't watch the show, so I can't say anything.
Oh, you
I don't
still
either.
watch the show. My bad. Anyway,
I just
moving.
remember all the complaints.
Yeah. On that.
I remember seeing the complaints.
Yeah.
It was funny.
On that note, let's move on to this show, because
So
I think I mean there's I will say one thing. After the third watch, I noticed the way the show was filmed, and I forget the guy's name. It was the directorial debut of one of the ADs.
Right.
Who became director, Knoxwell. That's right, Knoxwell. That's the last name. And I was actually paying attention to some of the shots that were taken, like all the different angles. Like the prime example, and you'll notice this if you rewatch the show, the scene with Morgan, Althea, and Logan. If you look at the way they shot it, they use like angles from the feet in the beginning, and then they used an over the shoulder shot from Maggie Grace over to Logan, and then they did an overhead shot, like a direct overhead shot. Like they really painstakingly like chose each shot like really deliberately, and the best part about it is that like you don't notice it. Like all you are seeing is like because part of the reason you do things like that is so you can get some spatial awareness. Mm-hmm. And so like you don't even know that's happening, but you get a sense of space and where they are relative to that scene too, which is really important to kind of figure out where you are. And they're just beautiful shots. Like for instance, like the beginning opening shot, the overhead shot of the tree, which we got to see in the trailer, but now we're linking that up, and you get a little bit more time seeing it too. But what did you think of that? I mean, like, did you guys notice like how it was filmed? Also,
I like the brighter shots.
Oh, okay.
Like how we're kind of used to like the darker scenery lately, but the fact like the walls of the police station, that they were white. There weren't many clouds in the sky, so you were able to see really like, especially like when like Alicia was painting.
Yeah.
There was like all the grass behind her, and the sun was shining down on it, so it just made like, because lightness usually pertains to like happiness, and she was not that she was happy, but she was content, happier than we've seen her.
Right. As opposed to like season 4, right?
Especially in season 4.
Yeah. Which I noted was, I think, intentional. like to signify the lowest point, and like in the dark and very blue tones, etc.
However, I will say with that scene with Morgan, Alicia, Morgan Althea. Morgan, Althea, and Logan. So many callbacks to that scene in Walking Dead with the Saviors with Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter was blowing up with the comments about that.
Yeah.
But on that note, I was kind of like, when I was actually reviewing that scene to myself, it was kind of like, there's something off here too, because if it was Simon, he would have killed somebody. That's the thing about the Saviors. They would have made notice, like taken notice and said, well, if you don't give me the ass, boom, the rest of you are going to get it. You know, so I'm wondering to myself, why doesn't Logan go that further with that? You know what I mean? Like, why hasn't he resorted to killing? He has all the ammo. He has all the his people seem to be at his ready. Like, what is the deal with that? Like, and what by the way, what also, how does he have such a hold on these people? What does he have over them? I'm wondering.
The whole situation kind of confused me. Like, okay, first of all, Logan did kind of make a comment, like, you know, this is still about helping people, just not the way you think. Something like that. So, I mean, that to me was like, okay, well, that's why he's not killing them yet, right? Like, whatever it is he's doing, he either needs people, so he's not going to kill them. He's going to try and use them later, maybe. Or he maybe is really trying to help people. He's just a giant asshole about it. Yeah, so, you know.
I have a theory.
And then, so the people that he's with, in the first episode, we saw one of them punch him, right? I didn't just make that up.
Well, we saw his black eye.
Premiere?
Yeah, somebody punched Logan, right? I didn't imagine that. When we first saw him, they went someplace, they were looking for something, and it wasn't there. And then they got all pissed off at him, and someone decked him.
I don't know if it was the first. The season premiere or the mid-season premiere, or
okay. Now I'm not sure.
I know.
At one point,
I know that we see a black eye at the mid-season finale when he,
punched Logan.
When the truck kind of comes onto the runway with the Christmas lights, and he goes, my team's not very happy with me, like. Oh, well, I guess, and like, Logan had Clayton had these oil fields and blah, blah, blah. And like, it's in the notes and, blah, blah, blah. So apparently Wilani says, yes, they did. Just we don't know where. But yeah. Yeah, we don't know which episode. But anyway.
Someone did punch Logan.
Yeah, at some point.
So how does someone punch him if he's like leading all of them? Like, how does that sort of...
Unless they wanted you to think that.
Maybe he's just a hostage too, and maybe he's just...
That's what I thought.
They're keeping him alive for utility, and maybe Logan wasn't lying.
But no, you can show you can clearly see he's calling the shots, especially that end shot. But what bothers me about this group, I'm kind of commenting back to the saviors. I feel like they're like a B-level saviors, like wannabe, almost.
Because they don't kill, right?
Yeah.
Kill, and they're just... How can I put this nicely without saying shut the fuck up? Handsies.
Well, I was even thinking, and I'll definitely get to the grander narrative of what you're saying now, because that'll link into like Wes actually. But the one thing that you said the saviors, and it's still true, but I was thinking more Gavin, because Logan just strikes me as this kind of like pseudo Gavin, whereas Gavin felt like, I don't want to be here, but can you cooperate? Okay. Logan's kind of like trying to be kind of midway between Gavin and Gregory, like kind of like a politician, like diplomatic about things, not quite as low energy Gavin, like, you know what I mean? So,
oh my god!
But am I wrong?
Like, no, you're not. Where's the lie?
Yeah.
But it does kind of bring up the idea of like, why doesn't he kill? And it is more of like a Gavin move to not do that. You know what I mean? So. No. I just don't understand, like, who's in charge of who? Why is Logan still alive? Is it because he knows all these things and these people are taking advantage of him? There is something going on here that we don't have the full picture. But I am really...
Oh, definitely not.
I might as well tell you my theory now, because it does link to... and I didn't really completely believe my theory until the last scene. And maybe this will speed the episode along, too, if I just get to it. Logan knows about the Commonwealth. That's why he needs all the gas. He needs to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense.
I don't know if I believe it.
Well, let me explain too. So so it's like you said, we are trying to help people, but not in the way that you'd like. And then he says something at the end, adios yesterday, hello future. And Isabel says hello tomorrow, right? Yeah. And then Isabel says something about, we're trying to build a future. And even Althea in the vault with Morgan says something very interesting. He says, if we're not around, because Althea says we have to have these backups for in case something happens to us. And Morgan says, something to the effect of, well, if we're not around, there isn't going to be anybody to watch those tapes. And then Isabel and Althea goes to Morgan very subtly. She goes, yes, there will. Like something to the effect of that.
Yeah.
Nodding to the fact that she knows there's going to be people around. So there's a lot of like little tiny little croutons. Like where we get an idea of like where Althea's at tiny, but more the effect of Logan. Because you bring up these breadcrumbs from Althea and Morgan, and then these beginning and end breadcrumbs from Logan. Yeah. And you start to get this picture, like this little tiny primordial picture that will eventually grow into a human being of like what Logan's purpose is. And what Isabel says about building the future to Althea is like nobody can know because we're very vulnerable. You know, like we're in a state, we're not in quite the state that we're like our that vision of the future is 100% protected because something could happen.
So you think Logan knows about it, so he wants all the gas so he can raid it for himself?
Yeah.
I think it might be his key or his ticket into Commonwealth.
Yeah, like if we're in charge of the gas,
because he has something to offer.
Exactly.
Yeah, like look what I brought you, let me in and protect me.
Right. I mean, think about what Isabel was there for beforehand. It was like a water purifier, like why she came to the nuclear power plant, right? Which kind of like signaled the beginning of their demise, but. In that area, all the people's demise, which kind of also, like, if you think about it, and I know I'm tangenting just a tiny bit, like, was CRM, like, responsible for the reactor, going? Because if they are, they really don't give a damn. They don't give a fuck.
Did anybody say what caused it, or just that it happened?
Like, natural.
Yeah.
I don't know, but if they came to get something that they needed from the plant, I mean... and it was something that they need, a water purifier, then I don't know. Yeah. It's possible.
I just thought it happened naturally, like over time.
That there's no power left to kind of...
Right, so there's water.
Nobody's managing it. Right. Yeah. Everybody died, nobody's managing it, so things overheated because nobody's there pushing the buttons and keeping it level, so I just assumed it.
And I learned that from The Simpsons.
Yeah. And some comments, Walani's saying he did say it's bigger than they think, and he did use the words, "This is big boy, big girl stuff."
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
I mean, that is just. I would love to be on the set, as an actor working with Matt Frewer. There's just like a levity to his performances. Every performance, even when he's being serious, I don't quite take him seriously.
I was thinking about this season, and I'm enjoying 5B so much more than 5A, but I'm already getting sick of Logan and his crew. I'm having flashbacks to Filthy Woman.
Well, which is what we brought up last week.
Yeah.
Like, is this guy...
It's a slow build.
But now that there's actually like kind of like a reason for him being a dick, well, what do you think? Like, if that's to be true, let's say, Meg, does that make things a little bit more interesting?
If which part turns
the idea that he knows where the Commonwealth is.
Okay, now repeat the question again now that I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm going to edit this out. Okay, now that given what you've said, like the possibility of him being like a Martha type character, if it's to be true that he does know where the Commonwealth is, does that change your mind a little bit about the possibility of you like enjoying the season? Like, does that give it like another level of complexity?
Yes and no, because I like when characters have secrets, but I feel like like I said, I'm enjoying the cliffhangers, I'm enjoying the situation our characters are getting in, but I kind of feel like, okay, I know you have to wait for like a grand finale, but let us get there a little quicker. Stop putting let us see something instead of just quick little cameos for these characters.
You mean
show us more behind? What was that? Yeah. Show us some more stuff, because I'm getting sick of getting teased, because half the time I'm forgetting what's happening.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, he's on this show.
Yeah, exactly.
you need a little more romance in your life, because suspension of gratification, like delaying gratification and a little romance, a little foreplay, doesn't hurt anybody.
You gonna set me up?
I got somebody for you.
How about let's know?
I mentioned before, it's a man's world, right? Okay, anyway.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyway, moving along. Yeah, okay. Decapitation scene in the beginning. Morgan. Victor taking out the walker. Cool. I just, and like all those walkers, like every now and again the show has to kind of remind us that they do lots of walker work. Like Nicotero gets to flex a little bit, you know? Like between the dude that was caught in the vines and like torn apart the more they kind of went through. Cool.
That was gnarly. I loved it.
And then that cross section on his chest, like that you got to see. Oh, so wicked. Yes.
Then his mouth. What was it? His mouth.
Oh, his jaw. Apart? Yeah, because the vine was like on his mouth.
That was awesome.
They gotta flex a little bit, Nicotero. K&B in full effect. But yeah, then that decapitation. They was like, okay, he puts the thing into his head and he just lifts it off. Like, whoa.
It's like pulling off a wrapper.
It's like a piñata.
Where's the candy?
It's blood.
It's blood. You don't want this candy.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, you don't want this candy. That should be on the shirt. Decapitated head. You don't want this candy.
You don't want this candy.
Available now at the merch store. No, forget it. Anyway.
Don't start me up on that. Don't start me up.
I already gave up. I quit. Tom has taken that for me. But anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and so I did want to bring this up now that we're kind of back with Alicia and Victor. I took a moment to kind of appreciate where Strand is, because the first time I noticed it is that when he leaves Daniel's place and Daniel refuses to help him, Strand in the beginning, I'm going to manipulate you, Nick, let's say, to do my end game, like to do what I want to do ultimately to keep me safe. Victor Strand didn't do anything for himself. He would get other people to do it for him because he had the resources, first of all. But look at where he is now. He's not only like taking care of walkers by himself, like for the most part. He's also like risking his own life to kill walkers for Alicia. And I just thought that was kind of cool to kind of make a note of, because it's just really interesting to see how much he's grown and how like take charges over himself and willing to sacrifice himself for others, which is so bizarre when you think about season 1, season 2 Strand. I mean, it's just worth noting,
Absolutely.
Now, for those of you who've even watched the show from the beginning, like I think all of you have, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I came in late because I didn't have cable, but I binged it like as soon as I got into it. Like
that's
I bought
awesome.
the Blu-ray flat out.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. So you
I knew I was gonna. I knew I was gonna like it, so I bought the special edition and haven't stopped since.
Dang!
I collected.
She's going all in hard there. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing about Alicia too. She's. I even told my husband, I'm like, she's been my favorite character since day one, and I've told you that. Now, why she was my favorite was a little biased because she was on the 100. So coming onto this show, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like her, and it's paid off. She's total, like her and Strand have completely transformed. Season 1, Alicia, I don't think could have killed anything.
No.
Also, now here she is, this badass.
She was like denying what what present day was. She still wanted to live back in the real world where her boyfriend was alive. Which, by the way, her painting the tree at the end was a very nice callback to the pilot. With the whole artistry.
Oh, I was thinking about that too. Her very boyfriend, nice Matt Sale, you're saying? Yeah, I was wondering if she was the one who actually did the art too, because I thought Matt was just the artist. And so I wasn't 100% sure.
There was I don't think we ever actually saw her painting or anything, but there was definitely nods to it.
Okay. We'll have to, if anybody has any, breadcrumbs on like any of the art that she's done over these seasons, I would like to hear those breadcrumbs, because, I mean, I was really just referring to the Matt Sale thing, like her boyfriend pre technically Apocalypse or during, and I wasn't quite sure if she was an artist as well, but regardless, I mean, yeah, that tree though. I don't want to get into that just yet because there's more to come.
Get back to it. Yeah, I just wanted to make that little, since we were kind of talking about Alicia at the moment.
Yeah. But no, I 100% agree with you. But going back to Alicia, there are things that go on in this episode that kind of give you glimmers of why she's feeling the way she does. I mean, there's the sudden realization that she might die at the end of during the mid-season finale, or like this episode before, etc., etc. You know, it flashes of her killing walkers, like just going ham. But there's also like something that wasn't brought up, and I thought they really could have taken advantage of that and really exploit her killing Mel and all the vultures, because I do think that that kind of comes into that too. You know what I mean? Like part of it is like her thing is about like, Wes, you know, this is the first time you've ever killed somebody, and for this wasn't a life or death situation, and so you don't want that to be on your conscience. And so I really thought they could have taken advantage of that whole thing with Mel and the vultures, like, because it kind of technically wasn't his fault, Mel, that the stadium fell. Like, he was kind of against Ennis's actions. He did not want him to go in. But him and Ennis had a disagreement about hitting up the stadium. And Mel said wait it out. Ennis decided, nah, I'm going to fast track this shit. No. So there's like a difference between when Nick kills Ennis and Alicia kills Mel. Alicia could have, left Mel alone, but like she was just out for blood. And so I thought they really dropped the ball there with I mean, what do you guys think?
Hey, Rach, you can go first on this one.
Did Colby's Wes say that he had never killed anybody before, or was Alicia assuming that based on like how he was acting?
He kind of alluded to it, but he never actually
really said it. Like, I really didn't get the impression that was the first person he killed. Like, the way he carried himself, the way he talked, the sort of attitude he had about this guy, like, I did not get the impression that was the first person he had killed.
Right. I agree.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of cryptic, and he perfectly.
I also think I think he didn't say whether he killed anybody or not, because I think he also, and I'm saying I take him at his word, but I think there's a reason for that, and I think he is just really trying to how do you say, like, he's trying to match where his philosophy, like, it doesn't really matter, this is how I have to be. It sounds like he's doing everything possible not to care. And so he doesn't answer Alicia, because it's kind of like, well, I don't want to have to tell you that this is the first time I killed, because that's where we're supposed to be at. That's where we're supposed to be. It shouldn't matter. Bonus, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's just forcing himself to do that. I actually have a theory about him as well that might get your brains turning a bit, but let's go into it a little bit more, because I do think like, we might as well, let's just talk about the trees a little bit, because you find out that Wes is the one that does paint the trees. And the reason why I bring that up now is because, like, when they're in the car, I started to kind of put two things together, and like, it sounds to me like when they were in the car, he asks her about the trees because he sees it in the video. He kind of wants to know why you even care. Like, why do you what do you think you're going to get out of this? And it sounds to me like something made him give up on his own philosophy or his own manuscript or his own ideals or whatever it is. Now, I want to kind of put it to the floor. Why, if he's written something so beautiful and he's done these beautiful trees, what do you think happened between then and now to where he's kind of distancing himself from those trees? Like, in that philosophy? Like, why is he forcing himself not to care? Like, where's the disconnect?
Sherry's group found him.
Oh, snap. That's a good theory, too.
Wow.
Well, hello. Hi. I'm going to spin around in my chair a little bit.
You had that ready.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Did you want...
I mean, I was thinking the same thing, because when I found out he did the trees, and now to see how he is, I thought, somebody with this attitude and demeanor would not be painting these beautiful messages on this tree. So what happened?
Yeah. Did you have like a fantasy idea of like what, like how that scenario came about, or?
No, not really. I just thought that'd be a good way to tie in Sherry's group, to find someone that they affected.
Right. And he's maybe one of those victims. And why that makes sense?
Could be.
I had time to think about why that makes... Well, yeah, your theory kind of runs parallel to mine in a way. But the reason why that makes sense is because you saw the tree painted in the same area that had the nuclear threat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was thinking about that. Like, so Wes was there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had to have been there, and so he's there, and now he's here, and he sees the trees painted here as well. So that's interesting to me. Like otherwise, it's a pretty bad gaffe. You know, like, okay, he couldn't have been there. Like, why would he be in the same, you know, threatening area, the nuclear reactor area? I don't know. But the reason why that makes sense to me, like, Meg, did you have any ideas about that though?
Actually, no. I just assumed like it was like he cared so much about someone and they died, so he was like, you know, screw it. Why should I try to get close to anyone when they're just gonna leave me, whether you know by their own choice or they die?
Now, do you mean to say that his brother taking him at his word?
Whether it's a brother, lover, whatever.
So like after even. So like you're saying it's like a collective of different things that.
Mm-hmm. Like so much shit went wrong that he was just like, everyone I love is gone, so why I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna be a loner.
Right. Okay.
Just survive somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Which I think that might be my next tattoo, actually.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you should do that.
Anyway, back to this.
So I was thinking also. So my thing was, but by the time I get to the end of the episode, and we might as well have to say it because like, no, we'll get to it. My whole thing is that I don't think Wes is Wes.
Like
you don't think that's his name?
As it is?
I think Wes is Derek.
Derek,
his brother.
Wait, hold on.
Want to walk with me? Want to walk with me on this one?
Okay.
Okay.
You have to pull me along because I'm a little slow right now, but
okay.
Go on.
I do want to say before you start, I do want to say when he first said his name over the walkie, I immediately thought he was lying. I don't know why. I had no reason to believe that, but right. I did. I went, no, you're not.
Well, because we've been trained not to trust new people.
That's true. Maybe that's it.
I didn't. How many times did I say in the beginning that Grace is not who she said she was? And I was wrong 100%.
But you could have been right so easily.
No, I like going on that little journey that you put on. You know.
I mean, I don't admit I'm wrong very often, but when I do, if I'm wrong, I own up to it. So, but like, you know, how Rachel was saying, you know, he said he's West. No, but you're not. Because we're trained to believe that all new people are bad.
Yeah. So or at least keeping their guard up.
We're like PTSD trained.
Yeah.
Too much shit has happened.
Walking Dead gave me PTSD. I don't trust anyone anymore.
I know. And so when
I can come in tomorrow.
And that's why when you see Logan and his group go, you know, try to step up to like, you know, Morgan and Althea, you're like, oh, fucking pansies. Like,
right?
Like, I don't even get that vibe off of you.
I'm not. Yeah.
But okay,
I ain't afraid of no.
So why is
let me take your hands because it's clear that, and then I'll drag you kicking and screaming into my theory.
All right.
Wes mentions his brother Derek, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentions that he kind of bit it like earlier on, right? Like early on.
Yep.
And what I'm thinking, and the bike is Derek's, quote unquote, also, or his brother. And I was just thinking, like, what if Derek assumed Wes's identity? Wes is the one who creates the actual manuscript. You know, Derek is the one who actually takes his brother's bike, Wes. And maybe even, and I'm kind of an over under on like whether this is true. Maybe Derek, you know, Wes, you know, not Wes, Derek, was painting the trees at first until something happened, you know, in honor of his brother, you know, his brother's memory and his manuscript. And like, maybe he held onto the manuscript, something that he wrote as kind of like to honor his name, to keep him going and stuff like that. And
so the brother is actually painting the trees and wrote and then when he died,
yeah, one or the other. Like
who we know as Wes came up and said, "I'm
Wes.
This is me. I
right.
did that.
I wrote this. These are my trees."
Yeah.
And the reason that made me think that, and I wasn't 100% sure when I first thought it up, but like when you see the tree that we'll call him Wes for now because that's what we know him as. But when you see the tree that Wes is at the end, it looks different than the other trees. Am I right?
Older.
It looks older.
Like
It looks
it's been there longer.
It looks unpainted. It's very simple. There's no flames at the bottom. There's no blue. It's done a lot more simple. And so I'm thinking to myself, maybe that's the original tree. Maybe that's real Wes's tree.
No, wait, as far as the flames, I thought the flame was only on Alicia's tree.
No.
I saw it on the wraparound tree too.
The wraparound tree, it was on the... Do you remember the screenshot I took when we were about to cover the trailers? Yeah. And I showed you the two trees, which I guess happened to be true. But that one had flames on it too.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Unless
there is another theory out there. That whole, multiple personality disorder.
Oh, shit. He's awfully... I did happen to like the fact that he was like...
Ooh, that would be scary in an apocalypse. An unmedicated schizophrenia. Ooh, oh boy, that's a whole nother level of threat.
We're talking. Like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. What if he's Martha number 2, but he's just way more savvy at it?
We've already seen what happens to people off their meds.
Exactly.
Oh my god! And he thinks he's Wes, but he's really Derek. And it's not a cool,
oh my gosh,
like emotional, like, oh, I'm assuming my brother's name because he dedicated his manuscript to me. No, he's an evil motherfucker that must be stopped.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, can you think about this? Like, there's Logan here who's turning out to he's a bad guy, but not really crazy bad. But then there's Wes, who's like, he's not a great guy, but he's definitely not a bad guy. But no, he's a fucking evil guy. I don't know. It's just something to chew on. But I like my theory because it maps on better to the way he reacts throughout this episode. Like, he's losing faith. From the moment the dude stole his script, maybe this was it. I don't know. Maybe the second it's like Morgan's stick. Imagine Morgan without a stick. He's just lost. He just doesn't know how to handle it.
Got a little lost tonight.
Yeah, a little bit, but I will. Yeah, we'll get to that. But like, imagine Morgan without a stick, and imagine it's like Wes without his manuscript. Like the idea of raison d'etre, the thing that keeps him going, the thing that makes him who he is. Now we got to get Instagram back up. Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's been an hour already.
Well, we started recording. We started the Instagram stream a little earlier, so a little beforehand. So.
Wow.
Before the other stream, so maybe that's why.
Oh, by the way, I heard from Carol replied in our thing.
Oh yeah,
she said she couldn't make it.
No shit.
So Carol, if you're watching, hi, we miss you.
Apparently other people are missing her too. It's kind of great.
Hi, Carol.
Sadness.
Maybe for the finale we'll go all out.
Yeah. I love how Facebook and YouTube get the behind the scenes and Instagram doesn't.
Yeah.
Miss the scenes get the scenes that you missed between streams. Everybody heard.
This is the blooper reel.
This is the drooper reel. Okay, so we're back at it on Instagram.
What's up, Instagram?
So yeah, like I was saying. Imagine you took away Morgan's stick or Alicia's, let's say, sword thing, flash suppressor,
sword
thing. I like how Rachel's reacting to this because she has as filthy a mind as I do, and it's Victor's now.
God. Victor has Alicia's sword thing.
I quit.
Now for Wes Craven's sword thing.
Sword thing. Oh my gosh.
You made my heart sing. Anyway, so moving along. Sword thing.
Where's Carol when I need her?
This is how we deal with transitions. Oh, Rachel quits.
I don't have my Hang on. I got this.
I don't even have a white flag.
Just this white tidy whities. For
my white hand. How's that?
So imagine Wes without the manuscript and his raison d'etre is removed from him, and that's how and it was just there you go.
There we go. Oh, I could do that. No, I can't. I don't know. Oh.
By the way, Tom is saying, no, they aren't going to do another multi-name person like Naomi, Laura, Jude.
Oh,
and he's saying
that was a lot.
He also said that Wes is Madison, so chew on that for a little while.
Wes is Madison,
which actually makes sense. I'm not a freshly graduated college student. I'm is she like almost 50? I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, she's got to be in her 50s. Oh my god.
You just aged her the fuck out. Like,
she's not.
Type of thing.
What's that?
It's a Benjamin Button type of thing.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm not even gonna go there. There's just so many connotations. Anyway. Okay. We've got this. We got a handle on the show. So speaking of Wes, okay, my theory aside.
Just stop.
Are you still getting the sword thing, Giggle Fits?
We are so professional.
I'm good.
Okay. I wanted to bring this up, Giggle Fit crowd. Is that do you get the sense that Wes is kind of like us, because as viewers? Because I was just thinking about this, like as I was watching this, I'm like thinking, he's like, oh, not this whole save me shit again. Like, oh, you're gonna try to connect with me with your brother, you with a personal tragedy, and then you're gonna heal my hurting heart, which I think is cool. Like they kind of break the cycle of like, oh, we're gonna save this person.
I loved that scene.
Right?
I loved it. Yes.
Movies, they're like, you as a viewer, you're like, don't go upstairs, go outside, like get out. Wes is that person.
The wolf is behind you, bitch.
Yeah. Why are you running upstairs? The front door's right here.
No,
yes, that's Wes.
I have to get the keys.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I fell.
He's not tripping on anything.
Why isn't his car starting? That's Wes.
Oh my gosh.
Wes is the guy.
No, I loved that scene.
Wes is the guy screaming at the screen.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. Yeah.
Oh,
are we gonna connect? Are you gonna heal me? Yeah.
And I think it really addresses, it almost addresses an issue, which, by the way, it shows good foresight from the writers. Like, oh, they must be like tired of us saving people. Like, we need to kind of throw a little thing that says, okay, we understand. Just hang in there, okay? Hang in there. We got this character that's gonna say kind of fuck you to ourselves, for doing this. But yeah, and I feel like that's great. I feel like they're not afraid to kind of make fun of themselves, the writers, in a way. To connect with us as viewers.
Good. Yeah.
Because I think they understand it's a lot to take in. This group is doing something that is almost unbelievable and gets people killed on The Walking Dead. As we all know, we don't want to just hash out all the lists in front of you right now. We've done that.
The first one that came to mind was T-Dog.
T-Dog.
Which a name we haven't mentioned.
Well.
That's interesting. But like
I just bought his pop figure. That's why it made me think.
Oh yeah, that's right. I want to take a step back because my fear, and I guess it's not a fear, and it's not even a concern, but like I was actually kind of wondering what you guys thought of this episode on a whole, because I expected, that's probably a better word, that there was going to be some friction on overall impressions. Like, so what? Was it filler? Was it exciting? Where does it fall on the scale for you gals?
Definitely not filler for me. Just seeing Alicia's personal growth in this episode, I think, takes filler off the table. I mean, this was pretty substantial for her, getting back into the game of killing walkers, and and then at the very end, I think we see earlier she says, how do I not kill the dead and help? And Strand says, maybe you can't. Well, I think at the end she found a way to. She's doing the trees and killing, minimal walkers, when necessary. She's not going full out Alicia anymore. Which I'm gonna
whatever
miss.
That is.
I'm gonna really miss.
That eventually again though. But I feel like this episode was both. It was, like I said earlier, it was
it can't be filler, if it's an exciting episode.
No. There's a moment in the episode where it was a filler.
Okay.
That's why it's a little bit of both.
I understand.
Okay.
So Alicia had this whole growth. In like an hour, we had so much growth. I liked that we're really starting to get to kind of starting to get to know who Wes is, kind of. Strand tonight really proved his growth with the whole tear gas and all that.
Oof, yeah.
The part, which I really want to talk about the tear gas part later. The filler part for me, Logan.
Ooh. But given what we said earlier, does that maybe change your mind?
No.
Oh, okay.
I see. I think I see where you're coming from, Megan, and I think part of it was a little bit of filler, but I got nuggets of information from him still. Like, I feel like I still learn. I know more about Logan now than I did last time we saw him.
Right.
So I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted more. I want more than that, but I got something. So it's like it's just enough.
You just enough to get through to the next episode. And I understand that
that's
they
good
have
game
to do
theory.
That. Yeah. Because they have to stretch it out for the rest of the season. I get that. But it's just a little, maybe I agree we did get a little more information. I guess I'm just so used to, like, with Walking Dead, how they do things, how we know so much about a character almost instantly. That I'm just like, all right, like, I'm having flashbacks to 4B right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, come on. Just get on with it.
Make it snappy.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I got places to be.
Exactly. Places to be. Give me the whole enchilada, but give me more than a couple, shredded cheese.
I think that's valid. That's actually really valid, I think. I mean, yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I do as well.
I will say one thing, though. I feel like there are two currents, and if you walk with me on this one, I feel like instead of having this one tiny current where it's taking a long time to get all the information and the story is moving so slowly, okay, you have this one slow current, but you have like a whole faster current going where you're focusing on different clusters of our group and just really blowing up their, like, really developing out their characters and letting them flourish in their own little pockets of story. And then, so you've got that instantly, right? And then you have this undercurrent, the slow-moving current of this Logan thing that's going on that's kind of like, yeah, what about that guy? Yeah, what's going on there? There's a little drip, drip, drip on figuring out how... Because every episode we see him on, like, even like the season finale, the mid-season finale, like, you got the sense of, oh, maybe he's a good guy. And then, like, in the next episode, oh, maybe he's Martha, which is clever, right? Because now we're not thinking he's Martha because... And the only reason why I say that is because why didn't they kill them? Why didn't they just kill them and threaten the rest of them to tell them where the oil fields are, or kill Luciana for Clayton's maps? Like, why?
Oh my god, I forgot about Luciana.
You forgot about Nick. You
Where
forgot
was
about
she?
Luciana. Where is your mind at?
Sometimes I love when these type of shows have like one episode centered around this character, one episode centered around that character. But it's happening. It seems to be the norm in so many different shows, not just Fear the Walking Dead. I noticed in a couple NBC shows too that sometimes you forget what's happening in a storyline with one character because they're spending so much time on another character.
Right. That's fair too. I have noticed that, but I think it's good because I think that was a big critique on I think it was season 7 of The Walking Dead. They tried to cover too many people at once.
Yeah.
In one area and not really focus on, a couple people here, a couple people there. When you focus on too many people at once in one place, you forget about all these other people in the other place. So it's probably better to focus on a few people, like a nice handful of people here, a nice handful of people there and there. You know what I mean? And I think they did fix that in season 8, by the way. As hellish as it was to watch, obviously.
I feel like if you're gonna continue the trend of, focus episode 1 on these two characters, episode 2 on these two characters, at least mention some of the other characters that are not featured in this episode. So that way it's a little reminder without having to go back and be like, wait, what happened? Like, what happened to Luciana? Like, where is she? Like, mention her.
Or like have her on the radio blurting in at some point. No, that's a good point.
Her, but just give us something because now next week, like Sarah, for example, we see Sarah for the first time in a couple episodes. I'm probably gonna have to go back and be like, wait, okay, what's up with her now?
Right, Sarah and Dwight.
Yeah. Right.
You get little Charlie, you get John and June.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like if it's
Peter
not
Jacobson too.
What was that?
You get Peter Jacobson too.
Yes.
Yep.
But I feel like right now, if it's not Alicia, Morgan, Althea, Dwight, John, and June, there is no storyline. So that's why they're kind of just like Charlie, Sarah, and Wendell have nothing this season, and Luciana, except for her injury.
Those three,
Yeah, she's healing.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's healed now, but it's just, I feel like they have nothing to do with them. So they're just like, okay, you know what? We can use one more person. There you go.
I also noticed that we haven't seen the kids in several episodes, too. And I kind of liked Cooper. I kind of liked him on the screen.
They kind of just dropped them.
I like these little foils of like, okay, and now here's a kid, and let's see what he thinks in the apocalypse. Here's his point of view.
Even if they're just in the background, like reading or something, just so that way we see them.
Yeah. But I think that is a good money-saving, like, sort of initiative.
I agree. Okay, but then you know what? If you don't want to see them, mention them.
Yeah.
Right, just say their name.
Doesn't cost any extra money to do that.
That's a good point.
I think they've only referenced the kids once since we've been in this new location. They're like, oh, they're in the back watching movies, and then that's it.
The director,
they're just watching movies this whole time.
Hold up.
Right?
Hold up. The director of this episode just tuned in. And I want to congratulate you on a very, very well-directed show. We actually just mentioned earlier
amazing episode.
how well shot this episode was.
Yes.
And yes, we're sucking up right now because we're not beneath doing that on this podcast.
And it's the truth, so that just makes it easy.
Yeah, we're big suck-ups. Thank you.
No, we're big fans. I mean, we know how to appreciate amazing work, which is exactly what we saw tonight.
Yeah. Very well done going back and forth between all these crowds and very well shot. Yeah. Just very well blown up. So everybody say hi to Knoxwell.
Hello.
Well, not you, them.
Oh. Well, still, we can say hi.
We can say, well,
we're fans.
No, just like the giveaway, you don't care.
We don't matter.
All right, I'm going to do another giveaway, and you can't enter it.
Sincerely, though,
Did he enter the last one?
No.
Who didn't?
You.
No, I don't. I can't. Can I?
Yeah.
I assumed that I couldn't.
Not a Squawking Dead giveaway.
I assumed that you were just as brutal as I was.
Well, now I'm going to be.
Oh, boy.
Rachel can enter, but you can't.
Ooh, snap.
How sweaty are these pits? Anywho.
Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, let's get back to the episode.
So.
Yes. Yeah, so where were we at even? Oh, you know what? Let's close up shop on the Logan Morgan situation because Tom said something that was very interesting to me that actually may sort of resolve some of the things like, okay, how did Logan know where the vault was?
Oh, yes.
I know they kind of on Twitter, I don't know if it was the actual Fear the Walking Dead account or a fan account, said like how did Althea know where the safe was to be? I know you said Logan, but like how did Alicia know? And it said to go back and reference some of the Alicia tapes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She even says that in the episode.
The tape is called Clark.
Yes.
And if you go to the blog for episode 61, we have all the Althea tapes actually linked directly, so you don't have to suffer through the Walking Dead account, the YouTube account. So there's that, but it's the Clark tape. Now, how did Logan know where to find it? That's the question.
Yeah. And all he said was, like I said, this is bigger than you.
Right.
Now there's a mole, but they did that.
My first thought was like Isabel, but I'm like, well, no, she wouldn't have known. Like maybe she told Althea, and that's how Althea. But no, she found out from Clark, and then I really have no idea. I have no idea. Well, Tom, it's driving me crazy.
Tom said something interesting. He said that maybe Logan had put some sort of tracking device either on Morgan in that instance where he grabbed him. Now I don't know if they went back to the vault again so that they would get the info on where this thing was. But who knows? Or maybe he has some sort of technology that he shouldn't because of something else. Now, if it goes back to how he knows about the CRM group, Commonwealth, or whatever we're going to call it, it may have something to do with how he knows about the Commonwealth and some sort of technology he either stole off of them or like tortured a dude if he is that evil, which I'm not 100% convinced of now.
I know, I'm not seeing that.
Because they won't kill.
I feel like if he had a tracking device, he would have used it for much better use than to find the vault.
When he was there specifically for the tapes and for the logbooks, which didn't end up being there, but they got the tapes anyway. When did Althea put their actual names on the tapes instead of the code names? Because Salazar's was labeled Salazar, not Skidmark.
Right. I think just after like maybe after this whole experience with Isabel, like it's just kind of like.
Wait,
Okay.
I figure it out because initially it said skid mark when she was getting their stories as Althea was doing initially. Now for this time around, this was for like their PSA.
Okay. This was for the tape that they put. Gotcha.
Correct.
That makes way more. Okay, thank you.
Like, tell me your story. This was
Yes.
Why
Okay.
are we doing this?
So that was actually Daniel's second tape.
Correct.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
Okay.
For the
Yeah,
purposes
that makes
of
way
editing,
more sense.
as we all know.
Yeah. That makes way more sense. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So no more Abe in the doc tapes. In the doc.
Aww.
Although
I still want to see them.
I don't know when they're going to introduce that because I think they might actually do that, assuming Logan doesn't burn all the tapes to the ground. Yeah, that'll suck.
After he watches them.
Yeah, right. Oh well, maybe we'll get a glimpse of that when Logan and his team start watching it, huh? Maybe next episode.
Yeah,
Huh?
if that's the case, that will be the nice shocker of a guest appearance that we've been talking about.
Maybe. Well, and there's also the narrative shocker too. There's gonna be something that's gonna rock us at some point.
Oh yeah. Well, we still have 4 more episodes, I think.
Yeah, was this episode 11?
Hang on, I'm on it.
Yeah, we got 5 more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we
I
gotta
can see it right
see
there. It's
4.
episode 11.
5.
We gotta see Sherry.
Oh no, I was literally counting on my calendar how many weeks there were, and that's how I.
Oh no, I was counting by episode number. They're right over there, that thing that you can't see me pointing to.
Yeah, as of right now, you're pointing to like my Apple logo. So.
I was gonna say you were pointing at me just now on my screen.
I'm always
It's
pointing.
right there.
I'm pointing at you with my
Rachel
sword
knows the
thing.
answer.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I really am sorry. That was really bad. Anyway, let's move on and stop pointing fingers at myself. Okay, let's bring up the how many people have you killed? Everybody.
Sounded like Rick.
The internet.
Exactly what I thought.
The internet blew up
Oh yeah.
when she said this.
Yep.
Where was the other 2 questions?
I have them.
I know. I was waiting. I was waiting for it too.
How many?
And I'm like, no, she wouldn't know unless Morgan told her.
Yeah.
Morgan could have passed that little
so.
information on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Did he though? Did he do that at the ranch? Do you remember when she was following the breadcrumbs of little notes that the dude left in nails back to the farm to try to save him? Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, the help me.
Do you think
And he was sending them out?
And you remember when he was offering her a ride to Alexandria? When we all got crazy, we're like, "Oh my God, Alicia's going to the Alexandria." And yeah. So I thought maybe he told her kind of then, or something weaved in there somehow. But I don't know. Maybe he didn't. But I think we all got destroyed by that question. But I think it's nice that a character kind of came to this naturally. It's kind of the effect of like, do you remember how Fear the Walking Dead figured out much more quickly that the dead reanimate? Like even if you weren't bit. Like there's things like that you get excited over, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the first episode where was it the principal? No, who died?
No, that was the couple episodes. The first episode, it was Nick's drug dealer friend.
Gets shot or like no?
No, he
the girl he was with.
She dies from the overdose.
The girls, yeah,
Oh, that's the overdose. But
in the church.
but at the very end, but Nick didn't know what was up. At the very end,
Right.
Nick's friend was gonna kill him, and Nick kills him.
With the car.
But
Yeah.
First he either shoots him or stabs him, and then he reanimates, and they push him off.
Right. Drags him.
Literally, it's like,
And then it's just that was so cool.
and that's when they learn that they reanimate.
Oh my God. But yeah, and then I like how that, because and then they kind of switched it over to like, have you ever killed someone? Yeah, well, you don't know how that feels like. Like, you don't know what that's going to do to you. So like, it was clever.
He didn't kill because he had to. He killed because he wanted to.
Well, that's a good question.
No, I'm saying I'm not saying I say that. I'm saying they kind of alluded to that in the show.
Well,
that was sort of the attitude, kind of the attitude he had.
Do you think he had to? So I maintain that he is in this constant state of trying not to care. There's a reason for that, but what do you think?
He clearly
He's
cared.
trying to disconnect. Yeah. He doesn't. I don't think he wants to feel the weight of what he's doing and what's happening. He's going through the motions to survive.
What do you think, Meg? Same? Do you feel the same?
I feel like he cares more about material things than people, because he showed no emotion to anyone. but yet he showed so much emotion to that manuscript.
Sort of, and then
You don't think that was a you consider it materialistic though? I thought it was more nostalgia.
It
like
was
for the memories.
Yes, both.
Okay.
But because the person died, that caused him to be the way he was. Like kind of like what I mentioned earlier. It's like, oh well, what I loved died, so fuck it, I'm done.
That was the last thread.
That material item is the last thing he has of this person.
Okay.
So, you know, that is why. But I feel like it also goes back to the whole materialistic thing because it's a nostalgia thing. It's a relic, but it's not a human. It's a object.
A thing, yeah.
That connects him to a human, though.
Exactly.
That's different.
That's why I said both material and nostalgia all at once.
So I see it when you say that, I think that thing transcends material. That to me that means it's more emotional. Like it's an emotional
That's
thing,
how I saw it.
rather than a material thing.
It's a piece of someone.
Yeah, it's more than
rather
just
than
a thing.
I get what you're saying,
Which is kind of why I thought they switched places, because I was thinking to myself, it makes more sense that he would be that much more attached to somebody else's thing than his own thing. Because if it's your writing, I used to write music, and it's kind of like, well, okay, you know, you took my album or my notebook with all my songs. Am I gonna fight?
Yeah.
So they're in my head. I could just write them out again. I could write this whole screenplay.
That's a very good
again.
point. Yeah.
So that was
pissed me off though.
Go ahead.
After all that, he just was like, "Well, he died for it. He can have it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, take it. Like you killed him for it.
Well, you know, we might as well talk about this now because I really had been thinking about this a long time, and I was thinking to myself, I'm not saying it makes complete sense, but I'm saying the reason why I think that makes sense is because he had gone, I think because he actively didn't want to care. He killed this guy. And this guy isn't just a guy. This guy is everything. He put all what he thought was how we're supposed to live. You know, we shoot, we kill, is what he said in the show. He put that all on this guy, and it turns out he was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He killed this guy before he even got shot, you know, is what he's thinking. And you know what? And then he turned out he was wrong. People aren't just people. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he says it right when after he dies and he stabs him in the head. And he says this to Alicia, and you will miss it if you don't watch it. He says, you got me to care.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I caught it.
I missed that.
Yeah, right? But if you miss that, that's actually a key thing to fit in with the rest of what he says.
And he was mad about it too.
Yeah. And he was mad and he was mad about being wrong because all this guy wanted, just like him with the manuscript, and like whether it's his or his brother's, whatever.
Yeah.
All he wanted was a little bit of beauty in this ugly world. That's all he wanted. And it was his. Or his brother's. And it's exactly the same thing he was trying to hold on to. And it wasn't like, and I wrote this down, I was like, it wasn't a can of soup. It wasn't something necessary for survival. It goes back to Luke and his talk about civilization and what, you know, creating beauty out of community. And it goes back to the whole movies thing with Carol and getting the highwaymen on board. This is, there has to be something for after. It can't just be about survival, you know, and then realizing that he was wrong about someone and then like defaulting to the fact that he has to stick with his double down and stick to his guns now because I don't want to ever have to feel like I was wrong and that my philosophy is busted because if that happens, I just killed someone.
Yeah.
You know, that's rough. And I kind of felt like you guys might have potentially about this episode about like how I don't get this episode. I mean, what's the deal? Like we got all this reveal, but it's kind of like we got all the foreplay, but none of the action kind of almost in a way. Like some people said on Twitter just right after the episode was gone, all this for a manuscript? So fucking stupid. And I was just thinking to myself,
more to the story.
Yeah. I absolutely. It's kind of why.
How earlier I said with Logan, I totally cut you off, and I'm sorry. How I was saying with Logan, how I wanted more. Now with West, we got more, and I am thrilled with what we got. But I know there's more.
It's meta because you know what he said? He said, "People are people; they'll just leave you wanting more." He said what you said just now.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you got a lot from Wes in
Right.
that episode. But
And that's why I was okay with it.
even a
Logan,
lot wasn't enough.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's the weird thing.
This whole episode is meta. I hope Knoxville is still listening to us right now.
Send him this blurb.
I will. Don't you worry. No, I won't. I'm not going to harass people.
Like, here, check it out. Check out our thoughts.
Yeah, well, if you're here, you're sticking around. Anyway, no, but I just like that. I like that it's meta. Like, this whole episode was meta in a way. Well, not the whole episode, okay? But yeah, and then I brought the theory up, blah, blah, blah. Why do you think Wes decides to help Alicia after telling him, I'm not going to help you. This guy's blind and you can't kill.
Personal gain?
What is it, though?
Personal gain?
Because the script said so. That's the correct answer.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
There's no other reason, because he was pretty firm in his ways there. I don't.
So you're saying it's out of character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. There's got to be a reason, because I do see, like, every time he busts Alicia's bubble, sort of, or tries to, he does kind of go, okay, here's my thing. Here's my story. Here's my story. Okay. So he does do that. He does kind of relent.
No.
But no, that's who said it was for personal gain? Meg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good. Like, he does want to get to it, and maybe if this guy gets away, we won't be able to find him. I suppose.
Alicia didn't push real hard for information either, so maybe he felt a little more relaxed and comfortable talking because she wasn't pushing very hard.
Right. That's not what this group does.
Right.
I don't think they did that with Dwight too. They didn't really push him too hard on the thing. They kind of tried to dance around it a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm. He told him just enough, I'm looking for my wife, and they're like, all right, well, we'll help you find her.
So this is me genuinely, by the way, that was me genuinely asking you, because I don't know why he decided really to help Alicia. I don't. But that's what Meg said actually makes a lot more sense, but what you said was just funny. Because that's kind of meta also. I'll just listen to the writers. I just graduated with my Master's of Fine Arts at on a SUNY school, the State University of New York, which blows my goddamn mind. Like,
language.
This dude, what are you, Judith Grimes?
Shut the fuck up.
Go fuck yourself.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm just so amazed by that. I'm just so amazed by that. Like, this dude just graduated the Masters of Fine Arts and just goes straight on to literally almost straight onto the Fear the Walking Dead.
Well, his death paid off.
So good too.
He's
so good.
Yeah. And he got his own Instagram takeover.
There you go.
Which I don't think quite worked out. I think he had technical difficulties.
He didn't get that in his first post.
He didn't have that many posts as far as I could see, though.
No, the very first video where he was walking, he flat out admitted that it took a while to log into the account.
Right.
Oh no.
So he had like one other post where it said like, the
BTS.
Ask me questions, and then he answered maybe like 5 or 6 questions, and they were like almost all from the same person.
Oh, me?
He turned off.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm kidding,
I forget the account name, but yeah.
By the way, I wanted to give a shout out to, I don't know if she's still on. No, she's not, but I'll give a shout out anyway. Mama Deadhead. I don't know if that's her same name across all things.
I think that's the one that was doing the a lot of the questions.
Is that Sarah Large, by the way? I think it is Sarah Large. I'm not sure. But she's the one who keeps calling Colby Uncle Colby because of that video that he posted about with her niece.
He said that in the Q&A.
Uncle Colby.
Yeah,
that was
but there's
so
somebody
cute.
There's somebody on Twitter that just keeps calling him Uncle Colby. And like meanwhile, we're all way older than him. Like which is so amazing. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Lonnie does know Mama Deadhead. Oh, so I'm right. Okay, cool. But yeah, shout out to her. I didn't do shout outs at the top, but I called most of you out anyway, so I'll put it together at the top of the notes, so don't worry about
just
it.
know it's an annual shout out.
Yeah. I had this, and I know this is a tangent, so note, but I was thinking about this. I'm like, if more people get on the show, I don't know if I could still do shout outs at the top, because I'll be going, and this guy, and that girl, and that
So the first hour.
For solid 15 to 20 until I give up, and everybody goes,
just limit it to like the top 10.
Yeah.
The first 10 to sign on.
Man. Yeah, but then it just doesn't.
Whoever gets on fastest gets the shout
I
out.
guess you're right. That would be a good way to
quickest
go.
man.
I think. Yeah. But all right, now you give me something to chew on. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Make 'em work for it.
Yeah. Gotta work. But don't ever do that again, David. Sorry, Meg. I think I traumatized her. Sexual harassment has a new name. David Cameo's sword thing. Anyway, so let's.
Why'd you do?
Clearly, to make you laugh.
I got one.
Girl,
I am not gonna snort
your,
on camera.
your laugh makes me sweat.
Nope, I'm gonna breathe normal and not snort.
I don't know about you, but I'm seeing colors right now. Somebody call an ambulance. Okay. Wow. Okay. Give me a second because I just kind of want to. We covered so much ground there.
We did. I can't think of any. Try it.
Yeah, I mean, I did want to note, like, part of what I was saying before about the man is, like, the West man is chasing is actually himself. Kind of. Like, his philosophy. And he killed his philosophy, and he was wrong. Yeah. It's like an allegory. It's the perfect villain for a writer. What if the man you killed is yourself? Let me say the full quote of the thing that you missed, though. It's like, he says, God, you made me care. I never should have rated you, but you were right. But I don't need right now. Because at the end of the day, people are people and they're just going to leave you wanting more. That's big. That's a lot. I mean, it almost kind of makes me think, like, people are people and they're just going to leave you wanting more. I keep getting stuck on that line, too. Like, because I actually don't really 100% absorb what that means.
That's it. To me, it's not a definitive, like, I mean, it can't be in reference to his brother. I don't feel like it could be anyway, because if the brother, died unintentionally, like, to me, it didn't correlate with the brother. And so it didn't really make sense otherwise. I mean, I hope we, find out. It's probably, maybe a little,
We will.
yeah.
No
People,
doubt.
they'll leave you wanting more. Maybe have something to do with Sherry's group. Maybe they promised him something. They didn't deliver. They kicked him out. He's like, fuck people.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe.
I still think we're going to get another Sherry clue before the end of the season.
Yeah. I want to see Sherry by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be a sleeper thing. It's just
If I'm
going to
not
come out of nowhere.
mistaken, didn't her latest show fail too?
Yeah.
Who?
The actress.
Christina
Oh.
Lisa? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she had another show.
I didn't know either until I read that it was canceled.
Ah,
Right.
well, good for us.
A while ago, I think last year.
Yeah, so I think she's like, freeing it right now. So
Or midway into last year. I don't know. What was I going to get to? Fucking A.
language.
You literally just said it. Leave you wanting more.
Sherry?
No, leave you wanting more.
Oh.
The only thing that I can think of is that's what writers feel like. And it's kind of like what we brought up with Johnny Odell. Like, no matter what I do, people are going to leave you wanting more. Like, all the gripes that we have with the writers, I feel like that line was just put in there by the writers in a way. And since Wes, maybe, I don't know, could be Derek, is a writer, like, it's kind of appropriate. It's kind of like the writer giving himself a voice to kind of speak to the audience and say, look, this is how it is. This is how we wrote it. You might have wanted things to go one way, or it should have gone this way. Like, no, that's not how things work.
Yeah.
It
wouldn't be interesting.
Yeah. I think about that a lot when it comes to, like, direct democracy ideas. Like, should the people weigh in on everything? Like, should all your votes, count on the individual level? Does everybody's opinion matter, or something like that? Do you know what I mean? And I often think about that, like, how I don't really always trust the populace to make decisions on behalf of everybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, somebody used to say, like, how did it go? People
People
what was
are
it?
people.
The individual. The individual. An individual is smart, but people are stupid. Like a group of people are stupid, even if the individual person is intelligent themselves.
Right. Groups. You should be scared
You put a
of
group
groups.
of people together. Yeah, yeah. It's like that group mindset. It's how riots and chaos start because one idiot sparks something, and then people stop thinking altogether.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the idea of hysteria, mass hysteria, etc. Yeah. I'm down with that.
No.
Yeah. So, let's talk about the last tree that Alicia paints. Because we do find out that at the end of Wes's manuscript, it says the words, "If you're reading this, you're still here." And I do want to say first, I think maybe it could be that Alicia does read the manuscript and finds out a little bit what that means, because it might not mean what we think it means. By the way, it could mean something completely different. Like, oh, if you're reading this, you're still here, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know how bad it is.
Right?
Uh-huh.
But Alicia kind of decides then and there, and you can tell me what you think, because I feel like Alicia decides then and there that it was staring me in the face the whole time. My lived experience, my mom trying to guide me, Nick's bravery, Strand's courage, his evolution, John's idea of trying to make the world like it was, somewhat like it was, except for the bags of money and stuff like that he was talking about in the first. But I think she kind of realizes it's not up to me borrowing somebody else's voice. It's about me finding my own voice. And because the whole thing about her going on this quest is finding a different way to contribute. And it's like, wait, why don't I do this? Why am I trying to find the answers from somebody else? I could be doing this, and I can give my own message, something I learned from my mom. And I'll let Meg say what the tree says, because I kind of think you should.
I actually don't remember what the tree says.
Alicia's tree says? Do you remember what
Alicia's tree?
You're still here, right?
No one's
gone until they're gone.
There you go.
That's right.
I remember because I cried. I saw it.
I couldn't see through the tears. Like
It was very sweet.
It was. As soon as I realized she was starting to have this whole moment, I started getting teary, and then you see the writing, and I was like, Madison. And then I realized I saw the phoenix, and I was like, oh my god, the phoenix rising through the ashes. And I felt like that was part of a callback to Madison, but also for her, she's rising through because she's
that's Alicia maybe too, yeah.
Yeah, she's evolution. Yeah, what's the problem? Evolving. Thank you. I'm so sleepy right now.
It's late.
She's evolving, so she's rising through all the shit she had gone through, and I liked how they had the flashback.
Oh, the PTSD flashback?
Oh, yes.
So that was also a little nod to it. So that was also part of the fires and everything. So I felt like that was very, very symbolic.
Yeah.
Now the flashbacks were more recent, but it's like I said before. I think having a flash of Mel killing Mel, having a flash of the diamond going in flames, and having a flash from a more recent episode, and they did have the flash of her
with the blood
in her mouth, or etc. Yeah. With the radioactive walker,
and they had it with the propeller.
Yeah,
the pilot.
Exactly. But I do think those three specific shots that I mentioned that they didn't do, I think that would have been way more evocative and continuity building. I'm wondering, why didn't they go into that trend? Why did they decide not to do that?
There's a reason. I just don't know what.
Is it that they'd have to pay Madison residuals?
No, because they could have done it without showing Madison's face.
Oh, why wouldn't they though? Wouldn't that be more evocative?
I don't know, but I know that there's definitely a reason why, but I just don't know. We may find out in the future, or we may not find out at all. Are you saying
that that you're hoping that her not thinking of her means that she's not dead?
No, I'm just saying that the writers obviously chose a reason. Obviously, how can I put this? Whole season they've been, kind of teasing Madison. She'd be so proud of you, and it's like, oh well, my mom taught me this, blah blah blah. So I feel like they want us to think that the whole painting and the coming of age thing had to do with Madison, how she's finally freeing herself and accepting that Madison's gone. Alicia thinking that, not Meg. Alicia thinking that.
Right.
But this whole time, it could have just been, you know, she had been on this rampage for so long now, just kill, that the blood really fucked with her.
Right.
So that's what she's having this coming of age on, not so much Madison, but just her near-death experience, which is why they chose those specific clips versus when she like killed Mel, you know, and all that other stuff.
Okay. But that what you said right there about letting Madison go, that's really cool, because it really does tie into what Morgan does, what Morgan goes through with Althea, you know, like as kind of like an undercurrent of the current going-ons at the bank, and then also with Logan, because you know, in the car ride on the way to helping this dude that Alicia and Strand can't get to, they run into Logan, but on the way they talk about we're not ghosts. You know, Althea kind of just says, you know, we're not the sum of our experience. We're not the people we lost.
Right.
You know, and it's kind of great that you brought that up, because there is a parallel. There is a clear parallel to what's going on with Alicia and what's going on with Morgan right now.
Right.
And what was your because before this episode, you could easily say, oh, Morgan's going back to clear mode, especially when you saw the teaser.
Right.
But when you listen to that conversation between he and Althea in the car, what do you think? Did you get any direction on where Morgan's at in the head?
I feel like he's just slowly starting to fight with his demons, because if you think about it, after the pilot of regular Walking Dead, we didn't see him until he was batshit crazy. And we didn't know what happened to him all that time. So we didn't get to see him slowly starting to lose his mind. He literally went from one extreme to the other. What if right now he's kind of fighting with his demons and he's having these kind of moments? What if this is starting to have history repeat itself, but we're starting to see it actually happening this time?
You're saying his madness? You think he's going into madness?
I'm not saying absolutely, but it's possible. Kind of like, it's possible. He might not go full on crazy Morgan, but it might slowly start to happen, and then they have to reel him back.
Do you think the same thing, Rachel?
No, I don't. I kind of saw right.
That's all good. I don't care.
The show would be so much more interesting if we all agreed on everything. No, no. I think what I saw between Morgan and Al, you know, the more he was talking about Jenny and Dwayne, you know, for as long as we've seen Morgan, he does not talk about them. He doesn't want to talk about them. He doesn't want to bring them up. And I think, you know, especially when he's standing at the tree reading Alicia's message, you know, no one's gone until they're gone.
Right.
I think that moment, I kind of took that a different way for Morgan. Like, and I kind of related back to myself. And I lost my dad about 15 years ago. And I always say, you know, it doesn't feel like he's gone because I talk about him all the time, you know, to this day. And I think Morgan was missing that. He hasn't been talking about his family. And so they were gone. But if you keep them alive and you talk about them and you keep them with you that way, then they're not gone. No one's gone until they're gone. So if they're with you, if you talk about them and bring them up, especially on video, when Althea brought up the video and he kind of had that, I saw it, the gears turning in his head, and he's going, I could immortalize my family.
Maybe that's
forever on tape. Yeah. You know, I think he kind of felt like, I almost saw a relief. Like, I can talk about them. It's going to feel good, and it's going to be out there forever.
Yeah, like, that could work, actually.
It felt good.
I'm, like, tearing up right now because I absolutely know. Because I lost my dad 2 years ago, and his birthday was just the other day. So
I'm so sorry, Meg.
Like, I definitely, I'm so glad you said that because I had been struggling myself, and so that, like, absolutely helped.
Yeah. Well, good. Of course.
It doesn't hurt that you're a videographer, too, like an editor.
Yeah.
So actually, I am planning on doing something. It's because I as I said in the last show, I had a friend that passed away, and she left behind 2 young sons. So I kind of want to do like some sort of video so that way they can kind of have memories that
Yeah.
they would normally forget. So working on
By the
that.
way,
I immortalized my dad this way.
Wait, it's
My
reverse.
dad had the same tattoo up here. I
Does
have
that
the
say
same tattoo
dad?
he did. No, it's their musical notes, and it's
Okay.
singing do 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 do.
Oh, I love that.
oh my god.
And my dad was a musician too. He was a magician and a
love
musician. So
Wow.
I got the head of the Gibson.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
By the way,
I got my last name tattooed in his handwriting.
Oh, I love those. I love those. Yeah.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, you
I'll
guys,
show
Yeah.
you not on a podcast though.
you guys simultaneously, like, I was like I was literally like about to go into tears just now because of that, and then like then you brought up the did, and I'm like, okay, that's okay, which is very meta because of like what goes on in this episode. Yeah,
We have emotions here on Squawking Dead.
yeah,
Right?
we do.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you don't even know. I'm probably the most. Not anymore. Meg is the most emotional person, but I
a good
was.
thing or a
I was the
bad
reigning champion of emo-ness until I got dethroned.
I don't know if
proud.
it's a good thing or a bad thing. I really
Be
don't.
proud. It's lonely here at the top tier.
You know what? I will share it with you. How about that?
Aw.
We can both wear the crown.
Yeah, I'm gonna get emotional again. But no, I going back to that. It like we hear him say on the tape, I need to find a way. Because it also kind of makes me think of like vampire movies, like when vampires live forever. Like, how do you maintain some sort of like, how do you live forever and be so lonely? And then like you go back to Morgan, it's like, if I'm gonna, like how Morgan says, I don't die, and like so what if, okay, what's it worth living this long, surviving this long, if like
You have nothing to live for.
exactly, or like not finding a way to say goodbye, which is what he says on the tape.
Yeah.
And then Althea basically answers that, like, I can take care of that for you. There is a way. You know, we can keep it in this vault, or maybe not anymore. But, like, it is an idea.
They thought so.
What do you think I do for a living? Like, you can talk about all these good things when the mood strikes. Here, take a camera, and I'll make a montage for you,
Yeah.
you know? Anytime you think of something that is pertinent to you and your son and your wife, just say it. Talk about it in full length. You know, well, I'll take the tape, I'll put it away, I'll make copies, I'll put it there, so you will never forget. And then you can let go of the bad. You know, you can just choose to remember the good, not like all the stuff that happened right before they died, all the suffering or anything like that. Choose to remember the good.
I feel like when the time comes that Morgan does die, not that I'm wishing it bad, I'm saying when the time comes, I feel like he's going to be okay with dying because he'll get to be with Jenny and Dwayne. He's going to immediately accept his fate.
That seems kind of like a cheat, because I think there's a lot of us that do, for all the stuff that we saw him go through last year and even now. There's a part of this that thinks that, like, I don't think it would be a good thing at this point to say that, because there's a part of us that wants to see him succeed. You know?
No, I'm saying eventually.
move
I'm not
on.
saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm saying whether it's this season or 3 seasons from now.
Well, I mean, I could see a world in which, like, he's happy with Grace, though. You know what I mean? We have to go back to that at some point. And I think that's the point I was kind of getting to, was kind of like, based on the idea of where you thought he was going to go, and based on this episode, like, do you think that he's going to run towards Grace? Well, maybe not run, but amble towards Grace, you know, as a result of this conversation?
I think he's going to fight it for as long as he can, because he might feel like he might be, you know, doing Jenny wrong by, you know, like, he feels like it might be wrong to move on.
Well, I mean, now that he has a way, though, well, maybe he has to take care of that before he can
move on.
Right.
Well, because you know how I mentioned last week how they specifically made sure to show his wedding ring?
Yeah, in the car, right.
Right. So I feel like he might feel like I said, moving on is wrong, because could be the reason why he still wears his ring.
Yeah.
I don't know
He still
if it's-
feels married.
I think
Exactly.
I think it's informative at the very least. It's very informative of, like, his hand is leading him away from Grace. Is that ring
With the ring on it.
Exactly.
So he's
Yeah.
got the ring, so he feels married. So he feels like it's wrong to try to get close to
I
someone.
remember that Grace did ask
think
about
if
the
he-
wedding ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he
I
didn't
think
even
if he
notice it was
does,
there.
if Elle does,
Symbolic.
if Elle does, get him to start talking and opening up on the camera, that'll probably be the first steps to him allowing himself to be happy
Right.
with Grace.
Right. Because there's one thing I wanted to note about the stick in the beginning, like near the beginning where Althea and him get into the bank and he kind of misses the walker.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
All right. That's what I thought.
It's shorter
At
than his
first I
training.
thought it
Yeah.
was sick.
But
then I saw
he swung it like the whole thing was there, but it wasn't.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what happened. Okay.
And that happened in the last
All right.
episode.
That's
too,
what I thought.
by the way.
That's what I thought happened.
And that's exactly what happened in the last episode. Also,
Yeah.
it happened to like from the moment that Grace snaps it off, and like this is weird. There's this weird. I don't even remember if I mentioned it in the last one, but you notice that every time he's about to bring up, well, bitch. I mean, it's because you broke my stick on that plane.
Right.
He stops himself as if he's like this married couple. Like, honey, I don't want to fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like the reason why I want to bring it up in this episode because this is just right after he ran out on her and. Like at first we thought maybe Morgan maybe Morgan holds onto the stick because it's Eastman, it's the stick, he has a connection to it, it's his way, it's sturdy, it's this, it's that. It's gone, it's been with him through his whole journey, but now I'm starting to think that he could get a full-length stick and be more effective, and he knows that. I think now he's holding on to it not just because of his history, but I think also because it's the stick Grace broke. It's my connection to her in a way, in this weird way. I don't want any other stick. I want Grace stick.
I want the broken stick.
I want the Grace stick.
I want Grace's stick thing.
Yes, sword thing. sequel to sword thing, stick thing.
Yeah, stick thing.
But isn't that something?
No, I could see that. Yeah, his way of like secretly being sentimental,
or not even knowing.
Nobody really knows. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know it.
Maybe he's not aware of why he. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Something to it, man.
I imagine they've stumbled across other sticks he could have upgraded to.
Mm-hmm. Pipes.
So those are the sticks that play,
too.
huh?
What's that?
Those
Mop
are the sticks that
handles.
play?
Oh, Meg.
Sticks.
Meg, what did you say, Meg? No, you guys spoke.
Oh, I said, so there's other sticks that play that we don't know about.
Yeah, there's many more sequels to Sword Thing.
All the sticks.
All the sticks. That's the trilogy. All the sticks.
All the sticks.
All the stick things.
All the stick things.
Sticks.
All the jabby things. And then it's like a Blink-182 song. It's like, all those jab things. And now I was reaching with that. I'm sorry. Let's rewind. I'm going to edit that out. That's how bad that was. Yeah. Well, I mean, we covered a lot already with Althea and Morgan. Because we brought up the whole Commonwealth thread. We're not ghosts. Yeah, I mean, I also kind of wanted to mention like what you were saying before when Morgan sees the tree. It's like, I don't think that he's heard that saying before. And I think now that he's...
Oh, no.
I think now that he's hearing it now for the first time or seeing it in this beautiful form, going from I lose people, I lose myself to like no one's gone till they're gone. And then in this beautiful art piece, after having had this conversation with Al, I mean, that's what gives me the hope that he's going to be working on things to kind of make it back to Grace. Because I think he wants to. But he needs to find a way to kind of say goodbye to his past.
I think he feels like he's better with Grace.
I think Meg nailed it on the head. He still wears his wedding ring because he still feels like he's married. And if he allows himself to have feelings for Grace, he's going to feel unfaithful.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Morgan's just such a good guy. He'd never do that.
He's a good guy.
He's such a good guy. Such a good guy.
But in regular Walking Dead, wasn't it around the time that Rashon happened is when Rick took the ring off? I don't think we actually
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Or no, Jesse. It was Jesse.
It was okay, so it was Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse.
That blew up in his
It was
voice.
Jesse. Jesse.
I
can't even blame Jesse. I blame the fucking kids.
I blame Jesse.
That Walker. I mean, the way that Walker bit into Sam's head like an apple. Whoop, doggy. That was awesome.
But no, so it kind of, the ring was very symbolic to Rick. So
Mhm.
now the ring is very symbolic to Morgan. It makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we'll see him take it off, and they'll make a spectacle of it when he's ready.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe keep it somewhere else.
I hope so.
I don't think
I
he's
say that
gonna-
because I want it.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get rid of it, but I do think he might put it somewhere else. I don't know.
Well, as long as
Maybe he
do with
puts it on
Lori-
the other hand.
Or on a string. You know,
That's kind of what I was saying. Like with
Streaming,
Lori.
yeah.
yeah, I think a lot of people do that too.
Okay.
Like when they get divorced. Not when they get divorced. Sorry, when they get
Not
when
divorced.
they're widowed. That's a scary.
Yeah,
part.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, instead of keeping it on the, because it's symbolic, you know, like, oh, still in my heart, but etc. Not on my finger, right?
Yeah.
I need to check something. I think we're good. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Sorry.
Can I just say real fast, at the end where Strand was watching Alicia paint, he had total like proud dad moments when he was standing there. He was so happy for her.
Yeah.
I was like, you go, dude.
Because he was there too. I think that's kind of the rarity. Like Strand is probably, I don't even know if Luciano would feel the way Strand would in that moment.
Oh, they're the OGs. Like, yeah, Daniel's an OG, but we didn't see him for so long. Like Strand was there for Alicia every step of the way.
I gotta get the Instagram feed
true.
back up. Sorry. Sorry to cut you off.
How dare you?
That's very true. I forget sometimes that Strand, that we've seen Strand straight from the beginning. I forget sometimes.
And
It
that
was like,
remind
what, episode 4 that he joined in on?
Strand. I think episode.
Is it episode 4 or
3.
5?
I was gonna say
No,
it was early on.
I have to look.
Things
pretty sure it's
progressed
5.
really fast.
Well, and you got to remember there were only 6 episodes in the first season too.
Right,
so-
that's why I'm thinking 5.
okay. I thought it was.
Oh, no,
I thought it was
no.
earlier than
I think
that,
it's
but I could
definitely earlier.
absolutely be wrong. I don't remember the order. I
Because
just remember
Nick gets caught and caged, and he gets caged with Strand. So it could be like the end of that episode, but
Oh, yeah.
probably 3. I want to venture. But yeah, that
Episode 5.
that's kind of why I brought up the whole. Part of why
is
I
5?
wanted to harken back to the idea of like, look at where he's gone. Look at where he's been and where he is now, and then look at was it 5? Wow. I
Wow.
assumed it was earlier. But yeah, it makes sense. But because he was part of the entire journey, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because Nick got taken away at the end of 4.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I thought it was the end of 4 or something like that.
Yeah,
Or
and he
he's
got
in the-
taken away, and then we see him again in his cell in 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God
Well,
for IMDb.
okay. So let's move on to sneak peeks because we know what we kind of talked about what happened at the end with Logan breaking into the vault. Adios, yesterday. Hello tomorrow, or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see Logan talking. I love this. I love this scene because it's such it's so poetic. Logan, we're about to buy us a ticket to the promised land, and then cue the synagogue. So I was kind of like, I just laughed. I laughed so hard when I saw that. Like somebody's in charge here. Potato Lover, by the way, on Instagram. Shout out to you. You're the editor. Interesting. Anyway, that's a weird name to say and reference a person. So, obviously Irish. So, yeah, and then cue John, June, Charlie, Peter Jacobson exit the synagogue to a herd of walkers, laughing my ass off. LMAO, I wrote. Convoy. We see finally Convoy put up its defenses, like the little chain link fence rolling down with the guns. Dwight says Sarah's beer is not bad, and she goes, seriously, like really quick.
That I laughed so hard at that moment.
And I wrote, more of this, please.
Yes.
John has a plan to lead the horde away, and it doesn't look so great. Whoa!
I feel like next episode's gonna be very action packed,
Yeah. Well,
and I love those episodes.
great. Who doesn't? Well,
Also, I can name a few people.
a Negan clearing scene. Yeah, maybe not a great one.
Uh-huh. Ugh.
You're right. That's action packed.
Nah. Nah. Wrong kind of action.
Action packed.
Peter Jacobson's
Wrong action.
Peter Jacobson's character answers questions with a question with Charlie, and I'm
Do
like,
I?
Oh yeah.
and I'm like loving this character already. Like seriously. Which
he's going to be a good guy, but everybody's going to hate him. He's going to be annoying, I feel like.
Jewish Father Gabriel.
Yeah.
But far more funny, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Oh, way funnier than Gabe.
Like from the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Woody Allen of rabbis. Anyway.
Yeah. Viewers are going to love him. The group.
No, okay, do you think Charlie's going to like him, though? Because I see a little twinkle. I mean, obviously not like that kind of twinkle. Okay, leave me alone.
Yeah, right.
But like you know. But I see.
Will they get along?
Yeah, right, exactly. Kind of like her and Daniel, but like in different
Eventually
ways.
she will. Yeah. I feel like at first she's going to be like, okay, what is your deal?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, and her trying to figure him out, too.
Yeah.
Scene, and here's the scene from the trailer with Sarah and Dwight in the tanker. You know, if we go down, we go down with the ship.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that scene ever since we saw it in the trailer.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I know.
I'm too. Did you see the guy that Dwight let go?
Yes.
He was talking to somebody.
Dwight's asshole.
Yeah.
Is he still an asshole?
Yep.
Oh,
Dwight's asshole.
that's what I wrote. And he says on the walkie,
Is Dwight's asshole still an asshole?
Exactly.
Yes.
It's like when is a raven like a writing desk? When is an asshole still an asshole?
Oh my gosh.
I'm very smart.
Do you think he will be? There's like this much of me that just like wants, like, I want this for Dwight. Like, I want
too.
him. I want this guy to have made a positive change so that Dwight can be like, I did something good.
Right.
I want this for him.
Here's what makes me think that, because now that I'm kind of reordering the scenes from the sneak peek, he says on the walkie, "Y'all clear," and like, but the next scene it says, "Not sure," but this next scene is with the next cut is right after, is with Logan and I think it's Mabel. I can't remember the woman that's with Logan, who had a name.
The one that's the short one with the beanie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember his name. I think it was.
Yeah, I didn't catch her name.
Yeah, and then
I
so
didn't know she had a name, to be honest.
no, he specifically named her, and I just don't remember her name. But
we know who you're talking about, so go on.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So because they put those two scenes together, you automatically almost assume, oh, he's still an asshole. He's still Dwight's asshole.
Yeah.
But then I'm starting to think,
It's gonna happen.
if you go back to where the convoy's putting up its defenses, maybe he helps them out. And he's going to them.
I don't think that they're really talking to one another because they want you to think that.
Want you to think what? They want you to
want you to think that the asshole's still an asshole. I'm not going to say names.
That's exactly what I mean. But like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, what if it's in reverse? Like, oh, he helped them out of the jam, and he's like saying, "Y'all clear," and like, that's kind of cool to me. Makes more sense. I hope
they cut together to make it look like he's still an asshole, but I hope he's not.
Yeah.
I hope this turns out to be a good thing for Dwight.
Oh, by the way, Walani was saying how she thought of what we said about Daniel's eye roll in that instant that we started talking about the asshole. Because you remember the last episode? In the last episode, we brought up the fact that, like,
with the Cinnabon.
Yeah, right after the Cinnabon, Dwight's saying, "Oh yeah, let him go," and Daniel's in the background going with his hands like tucked under his armpits, going, "Oh, come the fuck on." Very good acting choice. Yeah, and like in that moment, like the thought of him betraying Dwight again now is like, that's Walani rolling her eyes at the possibility.
But as an editor, you can make people believe anything you want them to believe with the power of a couple of clicks. So
absolutely,
I won't be surprised at all. That is what they're trying to do.
Right, exactly.
And we've kind of become we've kind of grown to expect it from them nowadays.
Deception, absolutely.
I mean, why not, right?
And confusion. We never really know what's going on. We think we do, but we have no idea.
No idea.
And I love it. I have no idea what the hell is going on, and I love it.
Yeah. Somebody brought up, like, I wish...
know what's going on in the most wonderful way.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is my all-time favorite quote from any Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead show.
Because you kind of want to see that a little bit. Like, you want to see Carol be like a chameleon, go like, "Oh my gosh, I'm Mother Superior here." Oh my gosh, like a Midwestern. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Well, think about it. With that scene with Carol and Maggie when they were kidnapped by the Saviors, she played dumb so well.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
She's a powerhouse.
Anyway, she's the best.
Oh yeah,
She is the best.
What was it? Oh, I was gonna bring something up, but I don't remember.
We talking about the trailers.
But yeah, Charlie asks Peter Jacobson like how the walkers got in the synagogue, while they're kind of protecting themselves from the walkers outside the synagogue. And anyway, John stumbles a little on the ladder as he's trying to make his move.
Oh, my heart raced at that scene.
And then it looks like Peter Jacobson is standing outside the synagogue with the walkers on the inside. And by the way, my first thought when I saw that was like, oh, it's like Madison. He led them in, instead of kept
I thought
them
it was
out.
Father Gabriel.
He trapped him in.
Did he do that?
Exactly.
Did he do that? Oh, he did.
Yeah, he trapped him in.
Well, he trapped them
Gabriel
out.
He trapped him
He
out.
trapped him out,
Yeah.
but like a reverse Father
But
Gabriel.
still, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Reverse Father Gabriel. But I was thinking of Madison leading into the stadium. That's what made me think.
Okay,
of
no, I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I was thinking that he was just, that was him looking in there after they, solved after they went in, they got him out, they got him all contained, and he's just looking back there like, whew, what would I have done without you guys?
Yeah.
I'd be in there.
And then again, it could be out of sequence too. This could be him initially.
Oh, yeah.
So, who knows?
That'll be the first scene, him looking in there.
Oh my gosh. Dio mio. I don't think that. Oh, there is one more thing. That's it. But that's what we say now.
Until next time.
The beginning of the episode. I noticed it. I didn't write this in my notes. I saw this in my first watch and completely forgot about it until now. Bluebell. Is it bluebells or what was the flower that Nick had and Madison was looking at? It was bluebells, right?
Oh.
Blue bonnets. Blue bonnets.
Oh, yeah.
They were there at the tree where Alicia and Strand were at the beginning.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, if you pay attention, and I did the first watch, I saw the blue bonnets, and there was just, man, those motherfuckers trying to get us to think one thing. I guess
Well, that's
go ahead.
that's funny that you say. I didn't actually catch the blue bonnets, but now that you say that, what I did catch makes even more, well, not more sense, but I was leaning really hard into the idea that Madison was still around with the trees and everything, because Alicia's standing there with Strand and she says, do you ever feel like the universe is trying to tell you something? Yeah. And I'm like, oh!
or the writers are trying to tell you something.
Yeah. I looked over at my husband and I'm like, really?
I'm gonna be kind of pissed if they are having all these all these comparisons to Madison, all these nods to it, and then we have nothing. I want to be really pissed because then it's like, why?
That's the question.
That's what's
going to
happen.
ask. Do you think that they were being purposely leading the audience to think that this was Madison? That's
Yes.
a legit question.
Like, I understand not doing it now because he had to have it with Wes. So it's like, you know how like with Dwight, like he'll get closer and then there's nothing. Get closer and then there's nothing. I feel like that's
To
kind of what
Sherry?
the writers did this time. Like, we all thought these trees were going to be Madison, and then find out it was a manuscript. We were all let down, but we haven't fully lost thought yet that it could be Madison.
Sure.
It could just be, you hit a dead end, but there's still other routes to get to your goal.
Well, or maybe the trees weren't Madison, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's not still out there somewhere.
Right. So that, they've had all these, I forget what episode it was, but one of the episodes they had previously on, and they specifically showed something about Madison from this season that they mentioned her, because they've mentioned her in multiple episodes. So the fact that they've been mentioning her nonstop, there's all these oh, was Madison alive? Is she really there? And then that ultimately it's going to wind up no Madison. That's where I'm going to be pissed.
I mean, and you might as well be, because I mean, if you had to ask me, I think all these breadcrumbs were intentionally leading the audience to believe that this was Madison.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I strongly believe that.
Yeah.
Then it begs the question: what was the purpose? If
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Right.
What was the purpose?
They could be testing the water too, like throwing these little hints out there and then gauging the reaction of the fans. Like, do people want her back or don't they want her back? Like, what kind of reaction are we going to get?
Mm-hmm.
So let's throw this out there and see what the reaction is before we commit to anything.
yeah,
I like that theory. Actually.
like season 6
agree.
is still on the table.
Right.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have no idea what season 6 is going to be about yet, so they have a million opportunities to do something.
Yeah, and it's a good thing you're still keeping an eye on Sherry. When that thread line is something that Dwight kind of almost gave up on. So
I think
I'm not giving up on Sherry.
finale, the 5 finale is either going to be Sherry or Madison related. I'm going to bet on it now.
I just absolutely love the character that Sherry becomes in the comic books, and I want to see that Sherry. Yeah,
interesting.
I think that's why I'm so team Sherry right now. Like I want to see comic book Sherry.
Huh.
I don't read the comics, and so for those who also don't read the comics, enlighten us.
Oh, she's just a badass. She's she's basically leading the Saviors in the absence of Negan and Dwight.
Well, do you think that I mean, this is a TWDC given Dwight's
not on Walking Dead,
but is it possible?
Not on The Walking Dead.
So she's not leading the Saviors,
but I think Sherry could have put together. Yeah, I don't think she's leading the Saviors, but I think Sherry could have, whipped together her own little, army group of people. Yeah, her own little band of brothers and causing some chaos. If she's turned into who I think she is.
Man,
she has a really awful death too.
The guy,
I mean, awful. Like it's embarrassing.
We're gonna talk later. The guy that Wes kills at the end, was he part of Logan's group or was he some rando?
I
think he was a drifter.
What if he was part of Sherry's group?
What if? Although he didn't seem very hard. Like he was like, I just wanted to finish it, man. It was so beautiful. Like that didn't seem like a tough guy to me.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I just like kind of dropping bombs and walking away. Yeah. Explode.
But he also wasn't with a group, so maybe he got cast out because he was weak.
He sounds to me like a loner, though. I mean, if you think about it.
He does, yeah.
All these books and, holding on to beauty in his own way and not trusting anybody. Like I do think that he pulled a gun on, I was about to say Colby, but Wes. Old man shot first. It's like the Star Wars thing with Han Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, he strikes me as like kind of a drifter that just wanted it. And like I said, he's chasing himself. He's chasing his worst ideal, Wes. Chasing after that guy, and it just seems like he also thought people were people.
More.
Until he met the author, and then he just completely disarmed him. Did you notice that he did like a complete personality change?
Yeah.
When he found out that he was the one that wrote it. So, or his brother. Yeah, I mean, that's because I was kind of
because he never answered him either.
Yeah.
He didn't answer him either. The guy on the ground, he's like, you wrote that? And Colby doesn't answer him. Like, he just kind of goes about what he's doing and, like, doesn't actually say, yes, I did, or, like, he didn't get defensive about it at all. He didn't say anything, which, kind of furthers your point.
I think that fits so much better than, like, than just it being him.
There's only one thing I would change about your theory, and maybe we are on the same page as this. I don't think if your stories go, I'm going with your storyline here. I don't think who we know as Wes painted any of the trees. I think it was all his brother.
I think,
and that's why it stopped abruptly.
I think he keeps the paint. I think he keeps the paint. There's two versions. The last part I'm not 100% sticking to in stone. But like the painting the trees thing. Yeah. But I do think the core of my idea is that he is not Wes, that he is Derek.
Yeah.
And he's assuming Wes could keep his brother's name alive. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But other than that, the rest is all kind of details, It's that tree. It's that tree.
I'm with you though.
Yeah, it's that last tree that he sees. It's so much different than the others. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And by the way, it
does look like a first tree.
And it's the same tree that's in the intro. But I was wondering why the intro's tree.
Oh, with the ladder, yeah.
The other ones did have ladders, or at least the one that.
Oh, did they? I thought
John and Dwight's had one that had a ladder.
Oh yeah. But you're right. That one did too. Okay.
But that's the thing. Like, it looked so much different than the other trees. Not painted, kind of raw, kind of different. So it's interesting to think about. Like, I like this character. I like that he's meta. I like that he challenges. He challenges us on our thoughts. He's almost siding with the audience on like how ridiculous all this sounds. I kind of like summing up that way. By the way, Lonnie's been on the same page as us, by the way. Yeah, I love it. I love it when
Now he says, he kind of agrees with the audience with like how ridiculous it is.
Mm-hmm. And then it becomes part of the story.
About the shipping at the merch store with the ridiculous.
I think Wes would
What would he think of the merch store?
I think Wes would be the first one to say, I'm not, who cares, bonus. No,
Come on, you knew I had to get one reference of that in time.
yeah, and if you're wondering, if you
Had
go
to get in there.
if you go to squawkingdead.com, hit the main menu and go to merch, you can find our new season 5B design, which is a brown shirt with slightly
welcome for
darker
the nod.
letterings. Yeah, well, thank you. You're the best. Our new brown shirt with like slightly darker letters. If you notice some of the graphics on our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, the background is a little bit more reminiscent of sunset. The lettering is a little darker rather than in 4A where the letters were brighter, more sunburst, like as if the sun was coming out. So there's a distinct difference between the bright yellow shirt with bright red lettering and then the dark brown shirt with the more muted red lettering. And by the way, if you do go to the merch store, there are many different color variants to all the designs. Check them out. There's different types of shirts. There's hoodies. There's zip-up hoodies and all that stuff. Give it a whirl. See if there's something you like. And if you do, buy a lot of it because the shipping is...
ridiculous.
Thank you very much. You've reached the end of our program. If you've enjoyed listening to what you just listened and watched, and you got to see a lot of hand waving, please leave a comment and a like in various different platforms. Please leave a rating in the Stitcher and Apple Podcasts arenas. And if you like what you heard, send us a message, send us a DM, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, give us any ideas that you might have about the show. I'm open. And last but not least, go to squawkingdead.com and enter that giveaway. You know you need to. Yes.
Do it now.
Yeah, you need to.
And I will say one thing, if you don't understand some of the entries from the giveaway, I will probably try to find time sometime this week to kind of break things down. I'll do the entries with you and I'll probably invalidate them, obviously, because I can't win my
You
own
will
prize.
you will help too, because I had trouble. I had trouble before I started doing the podcast. And you were there for me every step of the way, man. He's
That's
like,
right.
do this. I'm like, okay, didn't work. He's like, okay, try this then. We worked on this for like a week.
And I reformatted the way because it's not enough to tell people how to do things. It's if you see a problem, your job is to make it easier on them by just reformatting the way you enter. So if you do have any issues, I am here for you. DM me. I will walk you through it. And your input will help.
Yes, he will.
Will improve future giveaways. As this one as it is an iteration of all the problems that we solved for the course of 8 weeks back in the mid-season break of season 9 of The Walking Dead. So, given that, head over to squawkingdead.com, start entering, scroll down to the bottom page, and start just plugging in all this different information. There's some entry. Your husband literally just chimed in as we were exiting. Sherry and Madison are together.
Oh!
Madison is the burnt victim brains behind everything, and Sherry does it. It's like Negan and Dwight all over again, isn't it? Isn't it? Madison is the new Dwight and Sherry's the new Negan. How about that? We snuck in a little thing in the episode notes now that I have to put in thanks to your husband, Rachel. Anyway, good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, taking over for Talking Dead. And with that, Instagram, you'll be sticking around as I close off the other streams. But good night, Walani. You're the Instagram right now. Good night.
Good night.
So long. Farewell.
Althea saying good night.
Althea saying goodbye.
Ooh, I can stretch now.